tolerant of things that weren't going your way with Don Nelson. Is the coaching change that noticeable to you as a player?
Well, you know, in all respect to Coach Nelson, I think he did what he thought would work with this basketball team. Obviously, it didn't work. Coach Van Gundy, I think, is gonna do some of the things that we've done over the past couple of years that's made this team successful. I think we're gonna work a little bit harder than we've worked, and I think the preparation is gonna be a little bit different. Jeff has really prepared us, especially in the Chicago game, for our opponents. So I think that's important.
At the conclusion of the game the other day, Derek, you did something interesting, looking for that game ball. Tell us what you were thinking about at that moment.
Well, it was Jeff's first win as a head coach in the league, and you know, being around for such a long time, I know how those things make you feel, and I figured he would really appreciate getting the game ball after the game, and I just thought I would get it for him, and took it back to him, and he was happy to get it.
The team tonight now, looking at the Minnesota Timberwolves, a team struggling. A situation where you want to punish them badly, you want to play very well. You're looking ahead after tonight at another somewhat soft game, although you lost to the Sixers, and then things really get tough again. How do you maintain the constant, Derek, as far as output and attitude in the coming games?
I think with all of the changes, I think this is a fresh start for a basketball team, and I think that's the way we're approaching the rest of this season, is that it is fresh, and I think with that, you have the energy to go out and play. We can't take anything for granted with the position that we've put ourselves in now. I think it's important that we win these type of games.
Derek, the third quarter the other day was a remarkable third quarter. The Bulls came, pulled ahead of you by a drop, and then you took over. You had the very hot hand with the 4 threes. That game must have done a lot for your spirits, your personal game.
I think it has. I think everyone it was obvious what our team and individuals were going through in the previous situation. In that situation, Chicago making their run, I think we went sideways a little bit, and I just wanted to step up some kind of way, and I was able to knock down a shot early in the third quarter, and that gave me confidence to go. Hopefully I can build on it.
Remarkable performance on Sunday. Derek, the team right now, a happy feeling all around?
I think so. It's about as close as I've seen our basketball team in a long time. You know, I think you win against a team like Chicago the way we won. I think that naturally brings you together. Just like losing sort of divides you and send you in your own separate direction, I think winning does the exact opposite for you.
Derek, thanks very much for the visit, and the best of luck tonight, and continued good luck.
Hey, Sheila.
A little hello from Derek to Sheila. Now let's go back to Bob Page.
All right, John, and speaking as they were a few moments ago of Jeff Van Gundy, Jeff is featured tonight on our MCS Cannon Coaches Possibilities, as Mr. Andrews asked Jeff Van Gundy if he now has a set starting lineup.
Not really yet, because until Charles Oakley comes back, we're not going to really know exactly how much everybody's going to play or who's going to be in the rotation. So we're going to have to mix and match until he gets back.
Up next, as our MCS Cannon game night continues, we check out this Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf controversy, and we check in once again on Don Nelson's farewell news conference here in New York after being fired by the Knicks.
MCS Cannon Knicks Game Night is brought to you in part by Budweiser, official sponsor of the 1996 Olympic Summer Games. This Bud's for you. And by Chase Manhattan Bank. Chase Manhattan. Profit from the experience. Are at the Garden to take on the Philadelphia 76ers after MCS Cannon Game Night, Saturday night, right here on MSG.
What if there were no sports?
Scores, stories, highlights, and area high school sports news on Coors Light MSG Sports Desk. It's all right at your fingertips. A great lineup of March sports action on MSG Network, the best in the game. Welcome back to MCS Cannon Knicks Game Night.
Welcome back to the show. After his sudden and surprise firing by the Knicks this past Friday, Don Nelson met the New York media for the first time on Monday afternoon. He held forth at a late afternoon news conference at Mickey Mantle's Midtown restaurant. In more than 20 years of covering professional sports, I have been to an awful lot of these things, but I don't ever recall seeing anyone handle a situation like this with more class than Don Nelson did. He spoke on a wide variety of issues pertaining to his ouster.
I think when I look back at everything that has been said and that Ernie and I have talked about, it may be as simple a situation as really I was the wrong guy for the job. I know you've said that already. I've read it. I don't disagree with that. I feel very, very sorry that Ernie and Dave Checkis gave me an opportunity, thought I was the right man. I thought I was the right man, and it didn't work out. I just think that there was a way that possibly I could have generated more energy from them. Again, I always believe that the players are doing their best for me. When they were having bad times and they weren't playing well, I wish there was some way I could have gotten that passion back in them and maybe done a better job there. I don't think my communication skills were good enough as I look back.
Few of the Knicks players really got along with Nelson, but as you know, Nelly's worst problems were with John Starks' outbursts after he benched Starks for Hubert Davis.
Cut and dried statement about John Starks is that Hubert Davis is a better player. That's cut and dried. I know it, you know it, the players know it. The fact that I said it wasn't a derogatory statement, it's just a truthful statement.
While his disagreements with Patrick Ewing were less public than with Starks, the Knicks captain was also unhappy with his role under Don Nelson.
I don't think Patrick enjoyed playing for me as much as I enjoyed coaching him. We had some philosophical differences. Personally, I think that he needs to be the second best player on the team now at his age. I don't think physically he can carry the team like he has. I'm not saying anything derogatory about him, that's my belief. Evidently, I don't deal as well as I should with the modern day player. I'm from the old school that winning comes first, and that all the players involved should be thinking about that as opposed to dollars and minutes, because minutes mean dollars to the players in individual statistics. Really, there's only one statistic that matters, and that's winning. And if you can convince the modern day player of that, you've come pretty far. There isn't anything I didn't like about New York except the team. I thought the team was old and needed change. I tried to change it philosophically and it didn't work. The next change was to change some of the older players over the next 3 years, as I've mentioned. And I thought that's going to automatically happen. It's a very difficult team to coach. It would have been for me or anybody else coming in here. And actually, the best guy that's got the best chance is Van Gundy. You got him in the saddle now, and you know, he's going to do it the way that they did it before, and I think that's the best way.
Don Nelson went on to gush with praise, in fact, for Jeff Van Gundy, saying that he had actually learned more from Jeff Van Gundy than he felt he had taught Jeff in their short time together. Well, contrary to stories that had circulated last night, there was no meeting here in Manhattan today between NBA Commissioner David Stern and Denver guard Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf. None is scheduled either. Rauf remains suspended without pay, period, by the NBA for refusing to stand at attention or even stand at all for the playing of the national anthem prior to games. Now, it's one thing for Rauf to cite religious reasons, though that is specious enough for his actions. It is quite another to have made the outrageous political statements that he has, calling the U.S. a country that represents, quote, oppression and tyranny. The oppressed Rauf will now lose $32,000 a game. That's what he makes during the suspension. He makes $32 grand a game. Hakeem Olajuwon told ESPN Radio today, as a Muslim, that there is no tenet in Islam that would dictate one not stand for a national anthem. Rauf trying to explain things this way.
I'm able to make a lot of money in the United States, and I'm from here. And I'm not saying, again, that it represents everything bad. I never said that. I'm just saying that it also represents the bad. And when I see in other parts of the country, I just don't look at the United States. I just don't look at the Muslim issue. I look at the Caucasian American, I look at the African American being oppressed in this country. So And I don't stand for that. And I'll never stand for that.
This thing is very ridiculous. To see the man being suspended after 70 game, 60 game, plus the preseason, they should have known that the Malcolm would haven't participated in that. It's like the man being coming in your house and being sleeping with your wife, and you don't know. You should have known.
Rowe's teammate Dikembe Mutombo has said he has been sitting throughout the season for the national anthem, I think, which was unknown to virtually everybody. Also in the NBA, Dallas guard Jason Kidd says that, like Michael Jordan, he too has always dreamed of playing professional baseball, and reports are that he has already reached an agreement to perform for a San Francisco Giants farm team this summer. Kidd was a good center fielder in high school, or so they say. Our starting lineups from tonight when we conclude on this edition of MCS Cannon, New York Knicks Game Night.
You're watching MCS Cannon Knicks Game Night on MSG.
A Cadillac DeVille, a Lincoln Town Car. The DeVille has front-wheel drive and full-range traction control standard. And now it's made even better with the North Star system. Just something to think about when you have somewhere to be this winter. Nothing feels like a Cadillac DeVille. Now $469 a month and $2675 down.
So, you think you can pick me up in the morning?
See your Cadillac Tri-Statesman.
Choosing a movie just got a whole lot easier. Introducing Corel All Movie Guide, the ultimate multimedia movie expert. Brought to you by the world leader in graphic software, Corel All Movie Guide gives you interactive access to the most comprehensive movie database on CD-ROM. Enjoy hours and hours of entertainment, exploring the glamorous world of movie stars, directors, and behind-the-scenes cast and crew. Corel All Movie Guide, a must for all movie lovers.
It's time to get back into the spring swing. The Yanks and the Tigers in spring training action from Tampa, Thursday night on MSG.
Starting lineups for tonight's game, unofficial of course, J.R. Reed, Patrick, Anthony Mason, Derek Harper, and Hubert Davis for the Knicks. We think the Minnesota Timberwolves will look like this. The high school kid, Kevin Garnett's been inserted into the lineup along with Eric Riley, Huntington, Long Island's Tom Gugliotta, Spud Webb, and J.R. Ryder. Stay tuned, Knicks basketball coming up next.
MCS Cannon Knicks Game Night has been brought to you by MCS Cannon. Let us show you the possibilities. And by the New York Times. Read what you like.
Just make sure you stay in the chariot, Chuck. I guarantee you're going to win the dang race.
That's good.
True story.
You are so special. That chariot thing you did and the water stuff. I love you, man.
You're not getting my Bud Light. Frankly, son, you frighten me.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
And it's more like, I love you, man. See?
So what's the big surprise?
Knicks tickets.
American Express?
I got a little proposition.
Whoa! Hey, you got my ticket!
Think again, my friend.
Oh, there!
American Express, the official car to the NBA.
Might have gone to the moon for these.
Tell me, Bob. All you have to do is get up and get out and do it. Of course, where there's a will, there's a way. And the will is yours.
Coupons for extra savings throughout the store and found only in your Nobody Beats the Wiz circular.
What do you need?
Scissors and a Nobody Beats the Wiz circular. March Mania coupons. Cut them up, cut them out. You got it.
What are you gonna do?
Cash them in. March Mania coupons. Savings on hundreds of items throughout the store. This week at Nobody Beats the Wiz.
What are you waiting for?
Nobody Beats the Wiz.
Hi, everybody. I'm Bob Page. A no-holds-barred discussion on college basketball with Syracuse head coach Jim Boeheim right here on the next Page One.
Frustration, confusion, and bewilderment were words coming up far too often this season for the New York Knicks. Until finally the axe fell after 59 games. Don Nelson was out. Jeff Van Gundy was in. And on Sunday, the Knicks were back on track. back to a style they had come to be known for. Defense, intensity, and desire. Ewing going at long range. And you see the game for Patrick Ewing. Ewing was dominant with 26 points, 14 rebounds. But Derek Harper was in the zone. 4 3-pointers and 16 points during a decisive third quarter. Harper with Kukoc back. Regroups. And then fires. It was a Michael Jordan-like performance in this third quarter for Derek Harper. It all added up to the Knicks' most convincing victory of the season. And new coach Jeff Van Gundy played to rave reviews in his Broadway debut. Tonight, the Knicks hope to stay on track as they dance with the Timberwolves. We welcome you to the Target Center, Minneapolis, Minnesota, as we get ready for the New York Knicks and the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Knicks come in with a record of 35-26. A check of the Eastern Conference standings. They are in the number 4 position, a half game ahead of Atlanta, 1 game in front of Cleveland and Detroit. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albin, along with John Andres. And for the New York Knicks, this is game number 3 of the Jeff Van Gundy era. The Knicks hoping to build off that Sunday night win over the Bulls at Madison Square Garden. A game that saw Derek Harper break it open with an onslaught in the third quarter. And the Knicks also hoping that Derek has regained his touch.
Well, the Knicks started strongly, Marv, as you well know. They had a terrific first half. Then it slid away a little bit early in the third quarter. And then Derek Harper stepped up. And what a show he put on. It was 3-point shooting from Derek Harper's hands. And he just was incredible. Every opportunity to take the 3, he took it from either side of the court. Then this jumper gave him his 16th point of the third quarter in a remarkable shooting performance. 38 minutes in the game, 23 points, 9 of 13 from the field, 4 of 8 from 3-point range, and that 16-point third quarter, Marv, was perfect. He did not miss. 6 out of 6 from the field.
And the Knicks tonight going against the Timberwolves, who are struggling as of usual. They are 19 up and 42 down. They have lost 3 of the last 4 games, but one of their bright spots has been the 19-year-old, right out of high school, Kevin Garnett, who's played very well since entering the starting lineup about 15 games back.
And to think there was doubt whether he could cut it this early, he'd be a college freshman right now. And ever since Christian Laettner was traded to Atlanta, right before the trading deadline, Garnett with playing time has shown exactly what he can do. Around the basket, he's very, very tough. And he can block shots. Even when he's faked out, he can still recover and block a shot. Amazing talent this guy has. And around the basket with a lead pass coming his way with any kind of room, he's super tough because he can soar. Over the last 3 games, 15 points a game, 50% from the field. Look at the rebounding and his shot blocking, and it's all added up to a tough 39 minutes a game over the last 3 games.
All right, so coming up here on, as you well know, John, MSG2, it's the Knicks. And the Minnesota Timberwolves will be back with the lineups in a moment.
Make sure you stay in the chariot, Chuck. I guarantee you're going to win the dang race. That's good. True story.
You are so special. That chariot thing you did and the water stuff. I love you, man.
You're not getting my Bud Light. Frankly, son, you frighten me.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
And it's more like, I love you, man. See?
Hugh McGaddick here with presidential hopeful Mike Hall. Mike, what are your views on McDonald's Filet-O-Fish and McChicken sandwich?
Well, I stand for the... What?
Don't you just love them? And they're on sale. Right now, get a Filet-O-Fish or McChicken for just 89 cents when you buy large fries.
That's great, but America craves change.
That's why I crave them. They're a great change of pace. Or in the morning, get a sausage McMuffin with egg for 89 cents.
But what about the issues? Issues?
Bless you. The Great American Sandwich Sale for a very short time at McDonald's.
As the official airline of the 1996 Olympic Games, Delta is setting the pace for business travelers with an event of its own, the Around the World Relay. It's a team event, coordinating thousands of flights a day to cities throughout the world. So you can go from one plane to another, one place to another, in record time. Delta Airlines.
You're cold and wet and ready for a change in the barometric pressure, right? Well, good news. The Toyota Spring Rush is on. If you rush into your Toyota dealer, you can save up to $1,300 on the hot-footed Tercel. Or lease a Corolla, the perennial favorite, for just $189 a month. But don't wait for the mercury to rise. The Toyota Spring Rush ends soon. Brand new Toyotas. Great values on Corolla and Tercel. Wow, what a rush.
Hey, guys, what do they call this, Bud? Ice? Ice brewed. No, it's a bottle looks like ice. The bottle does look like ice. It's ice brewed, just the manhead. The bottle is jagged and it looks like ice. Ice brewed. Jagged.
Hey, you guys! Take it outside.
Okay, Coach.
Bud Ice, the official beer of the Hanson brothers.
Stupid machine took my quarter.
New York Knicks basketball is brought to you by Budweiser, official sponsor of the 1996 Olympic Summer Games. This Bud's for you. By American Express. By Nobody Beats the Wiz Home Entertainment Centers. By Delta Airlines, the official airline of Madison Square Garden. And by Citibank, for banking anytime, anywhere, any way you choose. At Citibank, the city never sleeps.
Back at the Target Center, Minneapolis, the New York Knicks have just been introduced to the crowd. The starting lineup for the Knicks: Anthony Mason, J.R. Reed, coming off a very strong game Sunday, Patrick Ewing in the center, Derek Harper and Hubert Davis in the backcourt. And there is the new coach of the New York Knicks, Jeff Van Gundy, who took over against the 76ers Friday night following the firing of Don Nelson. The Knicks losing to the Sixers on Friday, but then coming back with the shocking walloping of the Bulls on Sunday. Now we'll go to the public address for the introduction of the Timberwolves.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Y'all ready for this?
And now, starting for your Minnesota Timberwolves. At guard, 6 feet 5 inches, from Nevada, Las Vegas, number 34, J.R. Ryder. At the other guard, 5 feet 7 inches, from North Carolina State, number 4, Spudwell. At center, 7 feet from Michigan, number 40, Eric Riley. At forward, 6 feet 10 inches from North Carolina State, number 24, Tom Gugliotta. And at the other forward, 6 feet 11 inches from Chicago, Farragut Academy High School, number 21, the Kid, Kevin Garnett. The Timberwolves trainer is Chris Palmer. The assistant coaches are Mike Schuler, Randy Whitman, Greg Ballard, and Jerry Seasting. The Timberwolves head coach is Flip Saunders.
The head coach of the Timberwolves, Flip Saunders, who took over from Bill Blair back in mid-December. Flip Saunders coached 7 seasons in the CBA. Won a couple of CBA championships. Going up against the New York Knicks, who come off the win over the Bulls on Sunday. The Knicks had dropped 10 of 14 games prior to the victory over Chicago. For more on that, earlier John talked with Jeff Van Gundy.
Jeff, after that very high emotional win at Madison Square Garden on Sunday, how do you now address the next games tonight, as an example, and keep that emotional level high?
I tell you the truth, John, I don't think it's up to myself. I think it's a team issue that our core veteran players have to address. They have to know that it's about consistency and sustainment in this league, and that each night's a new one. And if we come out and play hard and play well, we'll have a chance to win every night. If not, we're going to fall back into that malaise that we were in.
Marv, I must say, Jeff has been issuing statements that make a lot of sense since he took this job over. The only change I see, however, is the lines around his eyes are getting a little deep.
Yes.
He's looking like a real NBA coach over the weekend. The sleep must have been very scarce.
Those things tend to happen, although Jeff, I understand, even as an assistant coach, put the hours in, but now the pressure is on him. The officials: Joe Crawford, Terry Durham, Louis Grillo, Eric Riley, who's playing for the injured Andrew Lang, on the opening tip, and it's controlled by the Knicks. And Ewing is going up against Riley, a one-time LA Clipper, one-time Houston Rocket, goes to the fadeaway, and Ewing able to hit over Riley for the 2-0 lead.
Well, it seems that the Knicks, as we've read in the last couple of days, recognize that once again that they want to honor Patrick Ewing by giving him the ball a little bit more perhaps than he was getting it lately.
Spud Webb, Kevin Garnett, and the game is tied at 2. Hopper catching the Timberwolves loafing back, and then Reed was able to hit on the follow. Derek ended up in the first row, but he saw the opening. Here's Ryder, got the step. With the Hopper not able to get back up court, the Timberwolves took advantage.
Boy, Derek Hopper flattened a lady photographer, and she's still shaking it off under the basket.
Here's the double team on Ewing. That was intended as a pass. It hit the side of the rim, and Webb pushes it down. Spud delivering to Garnett, who's being guarded by Reed. J.R. Reed had a strong game off the boards the other night against the Bulls. Very instrumental in a good play in the first half by the Knicks, and J.R. hit 6 of 8 for 12 points. Hopper able to keep the dribble alive in the front court. Shot clock is down to 7. Mason and Ewing. Rebounded by Garnett. Spud Webb looking for the shot, finding Riley. Eric Riley making only his second start in his 4th year out of the University of Michigan. He played 40 games for the Clippers last year after being waived by the Rockets. He was on that Rocket 1994 championship team, but was used sparingly. And was deflected to the backcourt by the T-Wolves.
That last move by Riley was helped greatly by the good position he got down low ahead of Patrick Ewing.
That's a 24-second violation. Hopper just tried to put up the shot, but did not make contact with the rim. And so it is a violation.
What the Knicks want to do now is present their tougher-than-ever defense that they showed the Bulls on Sunday early in this game, and not wait.
Minnesota with a 6-4 lead. We are just underway. Tom Gugliotta, a question mark because of a case of the flu, but in the starting lineup. Shot clock down to 4. Gugliotta. Tom Gugliotta. Recall when he come in with the Bullets, would have his difficulties playing at Madison Square Garden. May have put a bit too much pressure on himself. He is a Long Island product from Huntington Station. J.R. Reed ties the game at 6.
What a beautiful look from Patrick Ewing, who's getting double teamed and knowing that there's an open man, and he found him. Yes, Tom really is a local guy. Even though he's not from the city, being from the island, he always had a lot of fans at the Garden.
And Garnett was hacked. So Kevin Garnett will go to the line.
Your call on number 33, Patrick Ewing.
Patrick Ewing called for his first. Kevin Garnett, first round draft pick, the 5th selection overall. John, the first senior taken in the draft. Actually, a high school senior.
He's a remarkable talent. And Marv, when you talk to the assistant coaches here, they talk about his maturity, his attitude. They talk about the personal qualities that Garnett has as opposed to his talent, which then, of course, surfaces in the conversation. And lately, we talked about his last 3 games. Well, 2 of the 3, Utah Sunday and Seattle Friday, he had very impressive performances prior to that Wednesday against Philadelphia in their last win. 14 points, 19 rebounds against the Sixers, and that's Anthony Mason.
So the Knicks now lead by 1.
Three now. Big base. Three.
Spud Webb and J.R. Ryder in the backcourt. Ryder called for steps. Isaiah J.R. Ryder. We talked about this on Knicks game night. I recall last year he made it clear that he wanted to be known as Isaiah, but when people are talking to him, it's J.R. Here on the public address, they refer to him as Isaiah J.R. Ryder, taking no chances. Isaiah J.R. Ryder ejected late in the second quarter of the last game Minnesota played here on Sunday against Utah, and a celebrated incident. Mason on the follow. Anthony Mason extending to a 10-7 lead, with JR's mom coming out of the crowd to try and help settle things down as he went with at the official Ken Mauer and was thrown out. And last night the word that he was suspended $5,000. Timberwolves fear that he might be suspended. Garnett, nice touch by Kevin Garnett, and the Knicks now lead by 1.
He took on Karl Malone in an argument too, which preceded his ejection. I thought that was kind of interesting. As long as they kept it verbal, JR was in good shape with the mailman.
Webb firing it up and got the roll. Spud Webb running the floor. And the Wolves now lead by 1. Hubert Davis, who 2 years ago had a career high of 32 points here at the Target Center. And again, Webb races down and is hacked by Hoffer. Took a hard hit from Derek. It's a non-shooting foul.
You know, Marv, in the opening moments of this game, I get a wave as we look at Hubert Davis's numbers. As you mentioned 2 years ago, what a tremendous shooting performance he put on, including 4 of 7 from three-point range. But I was just saying, I get a wave of the Timberwolves feeling like the Knicks did Sunday against the Bulls. They're facing a Knicks team coming in on a huge high. No one expects them to win, I would think. And they're coming out in this game very sharp and very focused, I must say. And they're succeeding down low against the Knicks as we see them control the offensive boards.
And here's Davis leaving a 3-on-2. Mason to Hoffer, rejected by Garnett. And that gets the crowd going. Gugliana, nice pass, setting up Garnett.
So we see the energy level, as you look at the two teams, certainly favoring the home court, much as we saw Sunday with the Knicks' tremendous energy level at the start of the game.
Minnesota by 3. We're halfway through the first quarter. Ewing lost it, knocked out of his hand. Gugliana picked off by Davis. And Davis running the floor, finding Ewing. Patrick Ewing going play set up by Hubert Davis. Minnesota by 1. Gugliana set the pick. Gugliana for 3. And Ewing with the rebound. Thought he had Reed looking his way, but JR did not. Webb for 3. And a loose ball foul against Minnesota. Timeout called. We'll be back in a moment.
Catch some of the best high school players in the country. It's the PSAL Boys A High School Basketball Championships live from the Garden, Saturday on MSG.
What if there were no sports?
Fan Club, presented by Modell Sporting Goods. Check out all the cool stuff you get. Bumper stickers, trading cards, pencil set, official certificate and membership badge, a special card on your birthday, 4 big issues of the Knicks Kids newsletter, plus this great custom basketball and much more. To join, call 201-784-9600 or write to P.O. Box 418, Norwood, New Jersey, 07648-0418. Join today.
We want you to know that there is limited seating still available for the inaugural MSG Network Tip and Announcer Luncheon to benefit the Leukemia Society on Friday, March 15th, coming up at MSG's Club Bar and Grill. The event will feature MSG announcers serving as waiters, with all the proceeds going to the Leukemia Society. Waiters scheduled to appear include Marv, Walt Frazier, John Davidson, yours truly, Al Troutwig, and others. To purchase tickets for the luncheon, call 212-697-7848.
5:25 remaining in this first quarter here in the Twin Cities, with the Timberwolves up 13-12. Illegal defense, the call against Minnesota for the first time. That is the head coach of the T-Wolves, Flip Saunders. He is the second winningest coach of all time in the CBA. Won 2 CBA titles with lacrosse. Was in the Minnesota front office when Kevin McHale fired Bill Blair and promoted Flip Saunders to the head coaching job. Illegal defense for the second time. And Hubert Davis will shoot the tee. So the game is tied at 13. The Knicks tonight are without Brad Lowhouse, who is here but sitting out with a sore left foot. Charles Oakley on the trip. Davis for 3. Hubert Davis from downtown, and the Knicks lead 16-13. Oakley with a broken thumb. The feeling is he'll be out 2 more weeks, although word has filtered through that he might be available for a very tough week. Coming up next week when the Knicks are home for Indiana, then play at Chicago. Tom Gugliotta continues to have his shooting problems against his hometown club, the New York Knicks. He has missed his first 4 shots. Mason changed his mind. Nice catch by Reed. And he was fouled. Timberwolves wanted to travel.
Marv, you were talking about Reed's play on Sunday as we look at the very well-dressed Charles Oakley on the road. J.R. Reed, I think the effort that he put forth filling in for Charles Oakley was excellent, and with all the hoopla about how Patrick Ewing played and Derek Harper shot the ball, Reed's efforts were tremendous. 12 points and 7 rebounds in only 27 minutes comprised very big numbers.
And he did it right at the start of the game. His impact off the boards was felt in the early going. Gugliotta off the fake. It's a 3-second violation. Ryder in the lane. And the Knicks will get it back. John Stark still bothered by a sore ankle. Went through only about a half the practice session yesterday, but he's in uniform and he will play.
Meanwhile, the Timberwolves are stuck on 13 now for the last couple of minutes. The Knicks have a good opportunity now to get a fine run going, and they do with Derek Harper's drive. That's about 7 straight points for the Knicks. Make it 9.
Knicks by 6 with just under 4 minutes remaining in the first quarter. And the foul is called.
New York foul on number 33.
Foul on Ewing, his second, and Herb Williams off the bench. And he will check in. Herb Williams, since returning to the Knicks after the brief stint with Toronto, has started a couple of games. So Herb Williams now up front with Anthony Mason and J.R. Reed.
Herb Williams was back to normal minutes for him on Sunday with 10 minutes against the Bulls, and but he had 5 rebounds.
Sam Mitchell, just off the injured list, has come on, replacing Eric Riley. Holding foul on Mason.
Clear foul on number 14, Anthony Mason. His first personal, 4th team.
The Knicks, their 4th team foul. 3.5 remaining in this first quarter. The Knicks with a 19-13 lead. Gugliotta got the step and then rejected. Williams knocked it aside. Recovered by Gugliotta.
The man can't hit a jumper against the Knicks.
Mason pops it up as he drew the foul. Basket won't count.
I wasn't down there. The guy was down there.
Gugliotta complaining that he was fouled on that last shot attempt. Meanwhile, Minnesota has not scored the last 3 minutes and 20 seconds. So Anthony Mason to the free throw line.
It was a good block, but he was on the way up.
Mason had a game-high 8 assists and 9 rebounds in his team-high 42 minutes against the Bulls on Sunday. His great value is in the variety of things he can do.
John Starks has come on for the first time, replacing Hubert Davis. Hubert leads with 4 points.
45.
John Starks making it clear that Jeff Van Gundy called him after the announcement that he'd taken over for Don Nelson and said, whatever you want while you're coming off the bench. It's okay. A little different attitude, different approach with Van Gundy after the Starks-Nelson episode. That's deflected out of bounds. Last touch by Minnesota. And a timeout taken with 2:52 remaining in the first.
Hugh McGaddick here with presidential hopeful Mike Hall. Mike, what are your views on McDonald's Filet-O-Fish and McChicken sandwich?
Well, I stand for the... What?
Don't you just love them? And they're on sale. Right now, get a Filet-O-Fish or McChicken for just 89 cents when you buy large fries.
That's great, but America craves change.
That's why I crave them. They're a great change of pace. Or in the morning, get a sausage McMuffin with egg for 89 cents.
But what about the issues? Issues?
Bless you. The Great American Sandwich Sale for a very short time at McDonald's.
It's kind of nice, the way life...
A moment ago, we were talking about the bad feelings that developed between former Knicks coach Don Nelson and John Starks. Don Nelson had a press conference to explain his point of view the other day, and here is his take on his relationship with John Starks.
You know, John doesn't like me, and that's okay. I like him. I understand John. I know who he is. And if he just would have relinquished some of his time without, you know, making all these antics every time I took him out of the game, I could have left him as the starter. We did have our meetings. We did talk, but when John gets angry, there isn't a lot of talking to do. You pretty well listen unless you have a deep voice. So we did, you know, we've discussed these things. I told John the way I felt well, not many months ago, but several months ago. And I told him that, you know, he had to either play better or work harder or get his game up, or I was going to have to make room for somebody else to play more minutes.
And appropriately enough, as Don Nelson is talking about John Starks, John takes it right to the hoop, something that Nelly was attempting to get Starks to do and is able to convert. At the other end, Herb Williams committing the foul that puts Spud Webb at the line. And that stops a 12-0 run by the Knicks.
Well, I think John felt the vibes of Don Nelson's voice with this statement. But, Marv, I think the total problem that Don Nelson had recently with John Starks stemmed from his very harsh words that Hubert Davis was a superior basketball player to John Starks. I mean, I think that's the sentence that really lost John Starks and really hurt his spirit.
In effect, I don't think there's any question that Hubert Davis had outplayed John Starks. In effect, it should have been expressed in a lighter manner that the guy's playing a little better, that he is not definitively a superior player. You never say that about one of your own players.
I've never heard a coach refer to one player over the other, as you say, on the same team in that heavy manner.
The rejection by Williams, getting a piece of that shot attempt by Garnett. Reed setting up on Mitchell, and then stripped from behind. Nice play by Ryder, taking it out of the hands of Reed. Then Hopper on the steal, going right at Gugliotta. Won't count. Offensive foul.
You know, so often when you make a good play like Harper just did, you feel the momentum that got you that good play has to carry forth. And Harper was facing a 6'9" guy, 6'10" guy, and you can see Harper with a good anticipation. He's looking at Gugliotta now. He just crashes right into him. It takes a lot of discipline in a play like that to hold back and then look for the other Knick teammate to create a 2-on-1 against Gugliotta.
Hopper picked up his second. He's replaced by Charlie Ward. Charlie Ward hit 4 of 6 for 10 points against the Bulls on Sunday, including 2 from downtown. Ryder going to the left. He got the step. Rebounded by Reed. Timberwolves missing their 10th consecutive shot. They've got 5 minutes, 10 seconds without a field goal. Mason backing Mitchell. Finding Reed. J.R. Reed can't hit. Rebound Williams. And rebounded by Garnett. 1 minute left in this first quarter. Here's Webb. They get 11 straight misses. The Knicks are up 22-15. Minnesota opening up, hitting 6 of the first 10 from the field. They have missed their last 11. Starks. Yes, and it counts. John Starks going to the basket again. Going glass, and he was fouled.
Boy, you could see the lift that gave John Starks after he hit that shot. He just looked around as if he was waiting for applause. Take a look at John going up, firing that ball off the backboard, and he felt real good about that.
Foul committed by Ryder. 39 seconds remaining in this opening quarter. 3-point play for Starks. And the Knicks now lead 25-15. It is their biggest lead of the game. Webb guarded by Ward. Ryder facing the double team. Garnett from deep. Gugliotta with the rebound. And Williams called for the reach-in foul. Trying to strip Mitchell. We're down to 15 seconds left in this first quarter.
32, Herb Williams, his second personal penalty.
2.
Minnesota Timberwolves got off to the good start,
Sam Mitchell shoots 1.
and they have missed their last 12 shots from the field. Sam Mitchell at the line, reactivated for tonight. He was sitting out with a sprained ankle, missed the last 3 games.
Number 33, Marquise Bragg. Now in the game.
Here is Marquise Bragg, who has been getting playing time as of late. Rookie from Providence, 6'8", 230 pounds. Checking in for the first time, and someone stepped in too quickly. And Louis Grinnell now calling the double line violation, claiming that Garnett and Williams both stepped in too quickly. Herb Williams in amusing fashion trying to explain it. Grillo with a smile, but walked away, and it leads to the jump ball at center court.
Herb couldn't make a sale on that.
No. The Knicks are up 25-16. And we're down to 11 and 9/10 seconds to go in this first quarter. It will be Knick ball. It was deflected out of bounds by the Timberwolves. Ward just a battle with Webb to get it across. Out of 3. Ward did not realize where he was, and hearing it from the crowd for the air ball. 0.5 of a second remaining. And they may be readjusting the shot clock.
One thing about Charlie Ward, Marv, is he never gives up on himself after he has a bad miss. He plays with great confidence.
And that will do it. The Knicks conclude matters in this first quarter with a 15-3 run. And they lead the Timberwolves after one, 25-16.
Next is Lady. Exceptional sheen. Oh, very good color. Prince. Hands. Oh, such stateliness, such majesty.
Larry. Larry.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
The best of show? More?
Okay, camera left. Go right. In business news, the paper trail widens in the discount long-distance controversy known as RateGate.
A discount long-distance company promised dramatic savings over AT&T. But watch what happens when you compare similar calling plans.
Those numbers are about the same.
What happened to that 15% savings?
The answer when we return. Clearly, they don't hold up. And we're out.
Call 1-800-COMPARE for a competitive price you can believe in.
When you've tried the rest, try the best. Minolta Pocket Binoculars. Great lookers that are great looking. At Nobody Beats the Whiz.
You're well into the darkness of winter, so why go out now? Because the Toyota Spring Rush is on. If you rush into your dealer, you can see Toyota's classy flagship, Avalon. And while everyone else is in hibernation, get a great value on a new Camry. I'm talking best car built in America. You can drive a Camry DX home for just $229 a month. But hurry, they'll be gone before the snow melts. Brand new Toyotas, special Camry values to boot. Wow, what a rush.
New York Knicks basketball is brought to you in part by Toyota. I love what you do for me. Toyota. By MetLife. Get Met. It pays. And by Hertz. For business, for pleasure, nobody does it exactly like Hertz.
Remember, when you're having good times with good friends, drink responsibly because friends know when to say when. A reminder from your friends at Budweiser.
Oh, watch that guy very closely, John.
What's going on here? Are we at a hoop fest?
A little between quarters entertainment here at the Target Center. Willie Anderson has checked in for the Knicks for the first time. And the veteran Terry Porter has come on for the Timberwolves. Porter with the ball, guarded by Ward as the second quarter gets underway. 6 of 22 shooting for the Timberwolves in the first quarter. They missed their last 12 shots, make it 13 as Bragg was rejected.
Herb Williams right to the rescue on that play. Perfectly timed.
So the Knicks with a 25-16 lead at one point. They had a 12-0 run in the opening quarter. The Knicks now with Ward and Starks at the guards. Anderson, Mason, and Williams up front. Anderson bottled up and fouled.
Minnesota foul on number 21.
Holding foul on Garnett.
Such a luxury when you have a man coming in off the bench behind Patrick Ewing and make a play like Herb Williams just did.
And here's Williams from the corner. So Herb does it at both ends. And the Knicks now lead 27-16. Marv Albert with John Andres. From the Target Center, we're in the Twin Cities on a beautiful 52-degree day here in Minneapolis. Porter finally able to hit. That ends a 17-3 run. And the T-Wolves had missed their last 13 shots prior to that basket by Porter. Mason with a beautiful reverse. And the Knicks continue the onslaught. They're up 29-20.
Oh, the ambidextrous Anthony Mason driving left and then finishing with the right hand.
Porter may have gotten away with a carry there, but a foul called. It's on Ward. There's Patrick Ewing back replacing Anthony Mason.
Mason with a beautiful move a moment ago. Another look at it now, driving left and finishing with that little flip with the right hand. Very deceptive to the defense.
We'll have to see if Jeff Van Gundy follows up on a thought he threw out the other day that he does not want to play Anthony Mason as many minutes as he was playing throughout the season. Here's West Doug West, who just checked in, hits on his first field goal attempt. Anthony Mason averaging over 43 minutes a game, which leads the NBA. Starks for three. John Starks with no hesitation. He's come off the bench to hit for 8 points. The Knicks are up by 12 with 2 minutes gone by in the second. Garnett with a beautiful move off the dribble. Could not complete it. And last touch by the Knicks.
Nice job by the Knicks plugging the hole as Garnett got close to the basket. Good team effort, taking away the space he wanted.
Mitchell, some confusion on the inbound. Sam Mitchell was able to get inside to take that pass. The Knicks now lead 32-22. The Knicks on the road, 14 and 15. They've lost 5 of their last 6. Knicks wanted a goaltend. Ewing was fouled, and he will go to the line.
Minnesota foul on number 33, Marquise Bragg.
And the foul called on Marquise Bragg. Jeff Van Gundy, at 34 years of age, he is now the youngest head coach in the NBA. In his 7th season with the Knicks, an assistant under Don Nelson, Pat Riley, John McLeod, and Stu Jackson. Well, not bad for a one-time point guard at Nazareth College in upstate New York.
Yes, Jeff has not taken the opportunity with all his visibility to say, yes, I was a pretty good player back in my playing days. He's been very understated in everything he's doing.
Mitchell. So the Timberwolves starting to hit their shots after the long drought. Ewing. Patrick Ewing able to recover and convert. The Knicks lead 36-24.
Kind of funny too, Mark, to think that Jeff Van Gundy is younger than his starting point guard, Derek Harper.
Oh, what a move by Porter. And again, he complains that he was fouled. Starks. Meanwhile, Minnesota complaining the last 3 sequences, and it hurts because the Knicks are beating him on the transition. They're remaining in their front court to talk to the officials. Knicks by 12. 3.5 gone by in the second quarter. Garnett's pass picked off, saved by Starks. Starks goes at West and is fouled. Nice job by John Starks keeping the ball in play along the sideline. And a timeout is taken by Minnesota. Knicks 38 and the Timberwolves 26.
March puts a great lineup of big-time sports action right at your fingertips on MSG Network. Like New York Knicks basketball with matchups against the Pacers, the Bulls, and the Houston Rockets. New York Rangers hockey with face-offs against the Bruins, the Penguins, and the Florida Panthers. MSG brings you all the pregame stats, stories, and team news with MCS Cannon Knicks and Rangers game night. Yankees baseball returns to MSG. Catch the new-look Bombers in spring training action against the Tigers and the Mets. March is a huge month for college hoops fans. Don't miss the madness with tournaments and matchups from the A10, Big East, and MAC conferences. Take a hard look at today's fast-moving sports world and the people who make the headlines. Bob Page hosts Page One. Plus, you can always catch the latest scores, stories, highlights, and area high school sports news on Coors Light MSG Sports Desk. It's all right at your fingertips. A great lineup of March sports action on MSG Network. The best in the game.
For all the peace and tranquility seekers out there, this soothing image is for you.
And this is for the rest of you, and you know who you are. You hat-tricking, hard-hitting, goalie-baiting, backward-skating, penalty-killing, puck-chasing, cage-rattling, devil-battling, blue-shirt wannabes. This is where you come to get your thrills. This is Ranger Country. You got that? Okay. All the peace and tranquility seekers, back to the flower.
For the Minnesota Timberwolves, this is their 7th year of existence. And this is a franchise that has not been able to put together a 30-win season. Last year, 21-61, last in the Midwest Division, tied for the second worst record in the NBA. They have not been able to turn the corner. 19-42 this season, although they've come up with a couple of impressive wins in recent games over Charlotte, Miami. John Starks shooting the two. Look at the draft picks, John. The only two remaining #1 picks are Ryder and Garnett. Everyone else has been dealt elsewhere.
Christian Laettner will have a long career in the NBA. Longley's a very meaningful player now for the Chicago Bulls. And Kevin McHale has the job of redesigning this team. Kevin now is vice president of basketball operations after coming in as an assistant. Last year he was an assistant general manager.
And color commentator, similar to your situation. Eric Riley back on the floor for the Timberwolves. Match at center with Patrick Ewing. Knicks turn it over. So Minnesota gets it back. And there is Kevin McHale. The Knicks lead by 12 with 7:45 remaining in this first half. Riley on the tip. Riley again, rejected by Ewing. West, Knicks can't get a rebound. Riley rejected and fouled. Herb Williams raising his hand, but it looked to be Ewing called for the foul. It is Patrick Ewing, his third personal foul, but the Knicks could not get a board.
Well, they got into a jumping contest, and Patrick Ewing and Herb Williams were in the throes in the middle of it all. Riley's a 7-footer, but he had jumping room. You can see there's nobody really addressing the Timberwolves physically underneath the basket. Nobody's leaning on anybody. No one's taking away the space of Riley. So in a jumping contest with a guy who's got pretty good jumping ability like Riley, you know, the guy's just very tall out there.
The Timberwolves leading the NBA in free throw shooting at 78%. They're 5 for 7 at the line tonight. And a foul is called on Porter. The Knicks now with Ward and Starks in the backcourt. Williams with Mason and Anderson up front. Patrick Ewing sitting down after picking up his third. Well, that, yes, a traveling violation is called. Kind of a delayed call. I think Terry Durham was thinking what the call was. He wasn't sure. He saw Herb go up in the air, put the ball on the floor, and then he finally indicated the travel.
Herb was so honest about it, I think he gave it away.
Ryder able to save that deflected pass and then deflected out of bounds by the Knicks. Down to 13 on the shot clock. Porter for Riley. It counts, and the foul.
No one is leaning on Riley. And to his credit, he's getting some things done now with that allowed the room he has. See Herb Williams looking outside to help, and no one comes over quickly enough to plug up Riley's desires.
Riley missed the free throw. The Knicks lead by 9. Here's Williams for Mason. The block by West. Mason stopped. Mason stripped. He thought he was fouled. West with that quick step. He has the terrific first step. He whipped by Starks. And the Knicks now lead by 7. Timeout is called by New York with 6:37 remaining first half. It is a 20-second timeout. The Knicks now lead 38-31.
A very special move by Doug West a moment ago. He just goes right around John Starks, soars to the basket with that soft touch.
Number
Doug West in his 7th year out of Villanova. First 6 seasons averaged just under 12 per game. Not getting the playing time this year, averaging 6.6 per game. He is the last of the original Minnesota Timberwolves. And he's actually now #1 in team history in scoring, passed by one-time Nick Tony Campbell, who began with the Timberwolves in their very first season of expansion. Anthony Mason has 9 points. And the Knicks now lead by 9.
With Gugliotta out the other night because of the flu, West had a starting role, but shot only 2 for 10 from the field against Utah on Sunday.
Ryder, beautiful stroke by Isaiah Ryder. The Knicks 40 and the Wolves 33. Derek Harper is back. Harper and Starks now in the backcourt. Herb Williams with a series of moves. Nicely done by the 38-year-old Herb Williams.
Yes, Herb looked like he was going to drive the ball to the basket, and he froze Riley when he turned around with that jumper.
9-point Knick lead. 5.5 left in the first half. Now they double up on Ryder. West. And Williams with the rebound.
Starks gets credit for almost getting a piece of that basketball.
Whoa! Anderson able to save it. And pass a bullet that was thrown off the mark. Shot clock at 5. Mason called for steps. He was worried about the reach of Riley, who has very long arms. He is a shot blocker, as we have seen in this first half. J.R. Reed returns, replacing Herb Williams. Did a good job.
Knicks are moving the ball nicely, though, on offense. It's not sitting in the hands of one player.
And the Knicks shooting well at 55%. Minnesota at one stretch missed 13 straight shots. Here's Porter and Reed with the box out.
Oh, he had the good position.
Harper. Reed for Starks. Starks for 3. Reed with the back tap. And then a pushing foul call. It's against the Timberwolves on Riley. And here's Gugliotta returning along with Garnett, replacing Riley and Mitchell.
You know, Marv, I get a sense looking at John Starks out here tonight playing with the old John Starks enthusiasm, that the defense is the primary thing on his mind. He is seemingly committing himself greatly to a very aggressive defensive posture out there on the court, challenging everything. And we turn the pages back to John Starks's beginning in the NBA, and that's where he really made his reputation first, as an aggressive defender.
The Knicks lead by 11. West trying to post up Starks. Shot clock down to 5. And West thought he was fouled. Here's Hubert Davis, who just returned, finding Mason. Nice ball movement. Starks. Yes, and it counts. 3-pointer by John Starks, and he will go to the foul line.
Minnesota foul on number 34, J.R. Ryder.
Ryder on the foul, and John Starks feeling it, firing from downtown, and hacked on the play.
Well, the ball's moving beautifully from one player to the next, and John Starks looks like a very loose player at both ends of the court. He's oozing confidence.
14 for Starks. He leads the Knicks. Anthony Mason has done the job off the boards with 10 rebounds. And for John, his 6th career 4-point play. And Ryder hits a 3. For the Knicks, it is their 10th 4-point play in the history of the team. They lead by 12. 3.5 left in the first half. Knicks with the good ball movement continuing right throughout the half. Mason, Reed on the tip. And back comes Porter. Ryder trying to set up for the post-up, but was hand-checked by Davis, and the foul called. Speaking of four-point plays, there is Trent Tucker. Remember the four-pointer against the Bulls in the playoffs several years back. Trent now handling color commentary for the Minnesota Timberwolves back home here in the Twin Cities. In fact, his four-point play was the very first in Knick history. We'll be right back.
As the official airline of the 1996 Olympic Games, Delta has created an event just for business travelers, the International Dash. With 4,900 daily flights to 300 cities, we'll fly you to the business world with a schedule that's as full as yours. And we don't do it so we can finish first. We do it so you can. Delta Airlines.
Today, a lot of turkey breasts aren't turkey breasts at all. Made of ground-up turkey scraps and trimmings, seaweed and starch, they're actually extruded and shaped to look like real turkey breasts. They're truly miracles of modern science. Of course, you may want real turkey breast. In that case, you have to ask for it by name. The name? Boar's Head Oven Gold. Turkey, not technology.
The blizzard of '96 blew into town like nobody's business. But it didn't bother me, because I got a new Suzuki Sport 4x4 at a monster lease with dual airbags, power windows, power door locks, and four-wheel ABS brakes. I squashed this blizzard like a bug. And my Sport comes with more standard features than the Explorer, Cherokee, or Isuzu Rodeo. For less money. Enough said. I'm out of here. Now through March 31st, lease a new Sport for $229 a month at your New York, New Jersey Suzuki dealers.
Welcome back to the Target Center in Minneapolis, where the Knicks have taken a 12-point lead. Another look at the John Starks four-point play.
Mason moving the ball after getting that pass from Hubert Davis. J.R. Reed finds John Starks, who has a hand in his face, but he makes the long jumper and goes to the foul line for 4 points.
And Terry Porter was fouled on the play. So Porter will go to the line. J.R. Reed called for the foul. Terry Porter, the only member of the Timberwolves to have appeared in every game this season. Long-time member of the Portland Trail Blazers. Spent 10 years with the Blazers and signed with Minnesota as a free agent. We showed you Trent Tucker handling the color commentary for the Minnesota Timberwolves over the Midwest Sports Channel Network, working with Chad Hartman. Let's pick up the play-by-play of the Timberwolves Network.
Yes, I hope so. New York had their biggest lead in 48-33 when this man made a 4-point play. Shot. On the line, 2-pointer. Now, Louis Grillo said it was a 3. Terry Durham said it was a 2. Take your pick, and I think they're going with Terry Durham, a 2-pointer. Now they went for the 3-pointer. Well, that's interesting, because Durham had the best angle. He said it was a 2. The other official said 3. I know this one's a 2.
Yes, there's that play. The up fake and the reverse spin move, but he got to do a dump.
Mason getting great position on Minnesota.
I mean, when he gets that type of position in the independent area, he's going to be very, very tough to stop.
We're going to have to check out tonight's hairdo with Mace. You're going to have to take me through it.
I don't understand it.
That's why I wanted you to help me out. I can't figure it out at all. It's very cryptic, some sort of code.
2 minutes.
Good strength by Garnett. You can hear Reed trying to knock the ball away.
J.R. Reed has very strong hands, and he loves to slap the ball away, but great strength by Kevin Garnett, taking his time, regathering himself for a nice jump shot.
Watch out if he can track it down. There's the trailer right in the middle of the kid, Kevin Garnett.
to get Terry open for the three-point shot.
Yeah, they changed the hoop a couple moments ago to a two-pointer, so that was the correct call.
All right, the voices of Chad Hartman, Trent Tucker, the former Knick, broadcasting for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Chad Hartman, the son of longtime columnist in this area, Sid Hartman, working with Trent. Hubert Davis shaken up. We have 58 seconds remaining in the first half, and the Knicks lead 52-45. So Hubert racked up on that blocked shot and came hobbling away. Apparently is all right. Hoffer had it knocked away. And here's Porter on a 3-on-1, leading Ryder. So the Wolves have cut it down to 5.
All the time, the Knicks have had Patrick Ewing on the bench now with this big run. Patrick getting a long rest.
7-0 run by Minnesota. Davis for 3. Yes. Hubert Davis knocking down the three-pointer with 24 seconds remaining in the first half. The Knicks now lead 55-47. And the Wolves trying to hold for a final shot of the half, down to 10 seconds.
In New York, the Knicks are up 55-48 at the half, so this is very similar.
Starks. 5/10 of a second remaining. West flings it.
That's the end of the first half of the score.
So at the half, it's the Knicks 57 and the Timberwolves 47.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stay in your seats.
When the rain didn't stop for 12 hours, I didn't think it could get any worse. Then when the floodwaters came and washed away everything we'd worked our whole lives for, I still didn't think it could get any worse. Then when the waters receded, and all I wanted to do was pick up the pieces, that was the worst. I forgot. Our homeowner's insurance doesn't cover floods.
Flood insurance from the National Flood Insurance Program covers you from the damage caused by floods. Call now, because while most disasters in the United States involve floods, most homeowners' policies don't cover flood damage.
How are we ever going to pay for this?
Flood insurance is easy to get. Just call your insurance company, agent, or this number. The National Flood Insurance Program. We can't replace your memories, but we can help you build new ones.
Mitsubishi Motors salutes the extra effort of police officer Stephen McDonald and the New York Rangers. So now through April 5th, vote for the Ranger you think deserves the Stephen McDonald Extra Effort Award and a 1996 Mitsubishi Eclipse. For your extra effort, you might win tickets to a Rangers playoff game. Plus, your tri-state dealers and Mitsubishi will donate $50 to the Stephen McDonald Foundation for every Rangers goal scored this season. Vote at any Rangers home game through April 5th or send your vote to P.O. Box JAF 3210, New York, New York 10116. The Knicks are at the Garden to take on the Philadelphia 76ers after MCS Cannon game night, Saturday night, right here on MSG.
This copyrighted telecast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the NBA.
Led by John Starks, who's the high man of the game with 16 points. And the Knicks shooting well at 54% from the field. They have a 10-point lead over Minnesota at the half. Right here, we'll check in with Bob Page at the MSG Sports Desk.
Thanks, Marv. Hi again, everybody. It is the talk of the sports world today. Mahmoud Abdul Rauf of Denver suspended indefinitely without pay by the NBA for refusing to stand for the playing of the national anthem prior to games. Rauf, who makes $32,000 a game and has beaten Tourette's syndrome only because he lives in a country with the greatest medical care in the world, seems to think the U.S. is, quote, an oppressive country where, quote, tyranny exists.
I talked to him to understand what is his point of view, or how did he understand the Quran or Islamic point of view to stand that issue. But in general, Islamic teachings require every Muslim to obey and respect the law of the countries they live in. You know, that is Islamic teachings. You know, to be a good Muslim is to be a good citizen, to be an example.
The NCAA tournament begins tomorrow on the game scheduled. Princeton versus UCLA, Monmouth going up against Marquette. To kick it off at noon, it is UConn against Colgate with Syracuse against Montana State later on.
Overall, we feel more comfortable. You know, I certainly believe that the last 2 years we came to the tournament, we had great teams as well, but I still sense something different. I think we have a better potential this year to succeed and go further, and I think our record so far talks for itself.
Durant Sheffer in Connecticut, a top seed, of course, now. Taking a look at the NIT games tonight, 2 local results. Manhattan winning at Wisconsin by 2 at halftime, and Marist losing late in the second half at Rhode Island. Mount St. Mary's also playing Illinois State, and that one's at halftime. Now at Vegas today, Mike Tyson and Frank Bruno held their final media briefings for Saturday night's heavyweight bout.
I'm just coming to take care of business.
It's going to be explosive, you know, very, very explosive. Don't blink. Don't blink.
And the great Roy Jones has followed through with his threats. Today he signed a contract to play professional basketball in the USBL for the Jacksonville Barracudas. I'll be back right after this.
Is that Johnson's team behind us?
Exactly.
Are they members of Hertz #1 Club Gold?
Exactly.
Are we members of Hertz #1?
Not exactly.
So thanks to Hertz, they're going to get to the meeting on time.
And we'll be late? So exactly what'll I tell the boss?
In Rent-A-Car, there's Hertz, and there's not exactly. Make sure you choose the right one. And then a dog in the cargo hold, 8-hour presentation.
Is he buying it?
Not exactly.
Be with you in a moment.
You know, I used to have a give and take relationship with my bank. I gave them my checking account. They took 50 cents every time I wrote a check. I gave them my money market. It took 75 cents every time I used an ATM. I gave them a call to get a balance. 16 rings. So I left. Went to Citibank. Free ATMs, free PC banking, free phone banking. Even in a town this expensive, there's still a bank that won't nickel and dime you.
The city never sleeps.
Let's see. Can't focus. Weak in the knees. Lightheaded. You're hungry, huh? Here you go. Take a little sniffage. Can you smell it? It's that one-of-a-kind steam grill taste of, you guessed it, White Castle. We're talking sacks of 10 at a way tasty price. All in favor. Looks like the eyes have it. White Castle, what you crave.
Blockbuster trade locally in the NHL tonight. The Islanders have dealt Wendell Clark back to Toronto. Big package deal involving Matthew Schneider and a minor league defenseman in exchange for rising star Kenny Janssen, Rye native Sean Haggerty, Darby Hendrickson, and a first-round pick. On the ice of the Garden, game being seen live over our regular MSG service. The Rangers and Florida Panthers tied at 2, end of the second period. The Meadowlands Arena, Devils and Montreal 0-0, also end 2 periods. Don't forget our half-hour show tonight, 10:30 live over MSG1. Back to Minneapolis.
A Cadillac DeVille, a Lincoln Town Car. The DeVille has front-wheel drive and full-range traction control standard. And now it's made even better with the North Star system. Just something to think about when you have somewhere to be this winter. Nothing feels like a Cadillac DeVille. Now $469 a month and $2675 down.
So, you think you can pick me up in the morning?
See your Cadillac Tri-Statesman.
March Mania. You got it. March Mania coupons for extra savings throughout the store and found only in your Nobody Beats the Wiz circular.
What do you need?
Scissors and a Nobody Beats the Wiz circular. March Mania coupons. Cut them up, cut them out. You got it.
What are you gonna do?
Cash them in. March Mania coupons. Savings on hundreds of items throughout the store. This week at Nobody Beats the Wiz.
What are you waiting for?
Nobody Beats the Wiz.
Nobody does it like you.
For high traffic.
The capital of the world's most famous arena. It's the world's most famous ring. It's the Big Bird Justice thing. It's the capital of the world. It's where the New York Rangers team achieves their greatest dream. It's the fiercest game of all. The meanest fighting volleyball. Where the big top's twice as big.
Greatest show on earth.
And the rock stars come to It's the capital of the world. It's the magic of the garden. Madison Square Garden. The world's most famous arena. The world's most famous arena.
Some of our announcers' clothing is furnished by Harry Ellis Menswear.
Back in Minneapolis, Marv Albert with John Andres. The Knicks with a 10-point lead on the Minnesota Timberwolves, 57-47. A look at the individual scoring totals. John Starks with 16 points in his 15 minutes, 6 of 8 from the field, 2 from downtown, along with 4 assists. Anthony Mason with a solid first half, 11 points, 11 rebounds. Patrick Ewing got himself in foul trouble, so played only 11 minutes, 3 of 5 from the field for 8 points. And he has 3 fouls, 7 apiece for Davis and Reed. So the Knicks getting balanced scoring. Kevin Garnett played 20 minutes in the first half, 5 of 10 from the floor. He had 11, 9 apiece for Ryder and Porter. And John Starks back to his fiery self, John. In fact, he had 11 of his 16 points in the second quarter.
Yes, John burst off the bench. He also played solid defense, which doesn't show up on the scorecard here, Mark. But it was there, but his shooting was excellent, and he seems very happy. That's the feeling he's translating on the court.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first half, a half that saw the Knicks shoot 54% from the field.
Well, one of John Starks' earlier shots in the game was that drive off the backboard, and that turned into a 3-point play and a smiling face from John Starks. Anthony Mason, we talked about, as you did, Marv, his 11 rebounds, but he had a beautiful drive in the first half as well. And then John Starks back to the long-range shooting after some good ball movement by the Knicks. J.R. Reed found John. John saw a hand in his face, ignored it, hit the shot, and the foul shot for a 4-point play. And then the Timberwolves put on a drive at the end of the first half. And they came down after the Knicks gave that ball up. Good pitch out. And Isaiah Ryder finished with a slam dunk to bring the Timberwolves to the total of 47 points at the end of the first half.
And the Knicks actually with the advantage off the boards, out rebounding Minnesota 24-21. We'll be right back.
If you think stress is tough on you, consider your engine. Traffic jams, towing and hauling, even idling can lead to damaging wear. That's why Castrol is introducing Syntec Blend, the only synthetic blend that combines Castrol conventional oil and Syntec molecular components for greater protection than conventional oil in severe driving conditions. Because too much stress can be fatal. Castrol Syntec Blend, added protection for severe driving conditions.
There are sure to be a few records set during the 1996 Olympic Games. And as the official airline, Delta has already set one. Of all U.S. airlines, only Delta flies smoke-free on every flight to every city worldwide. It's not something we did to win a gold medal. We did it so you could breathe a little easier. Delta Airlines.
Some of the people who benefit most from the Discover card don't even have one. Hi, I'm Scott Hamilton. Each year, the Discover Card youth programs recognize thousands of kids who are making a difference. In fact, Discover Card has already contributed over $16 million in support of this unique collection of programs. So as long as there are kids with dreams, we'll be here, helping them reach those dreams.
After driving through Botswana's never-ending supply of mud, we came upon the largest animal of the land, the African elephant. These massive creatures can plow over trees with the butt of their heads.
New York Knicks basketball is brought to you in part by Mobil Super Plus Detergent Gasoline. Mobil, how could we help you? By the New York Times, read what you like. And by Coca-Cola, always jammin', always Coca-Cola.
Back at the Target Center, the Knicks 57 and the Minnesota Timberwolves 47. A look at the Toyota matchup with Anthony Mason facing the 19-year-old Kevin Garnett.
Not an easy task these days. Mason and Garnett equal in the output department, in the point department, but Mason doing a very big job in the half with 11 rebounds.
And a close-up look at the halftime statistics. The Knicks at 54%. Good shooting performance in the first half. Timberwolves picked it up after the bad spell through a good portion of the late first, early second quarter. In fact, at one point, they missed 13 consecutive shots. And as I mentioned, the Knicks with the advantage off the boards. John Starks with 16 points off the bench. So Minnesota with Spud Webb and Isaiah Ryder in the backcourt. Riley, Gugliotta, and Garnett up front. Gugliotta 0 for 6 in the first half. Ryder with the shot clock down to 3. Rejected by Ewing. Patrick Ewing with his first block.
Interesting Sunday, Marv, with the good Knicks defense. They only had 3 blocked shots. Patrick had 1. Not that you have to be blocking shots to play good defense, but boy, they came together, as they did, by the way, on that last play with Ewing helping on Ryder.
Nice fake by Ewing to draw the foul on Eric Riley. So for Riley, that is his third. Riley in the lineup once again as the starting center because of the injury suffered by Andrew Lang. Lang, who came over from the Hawks along with Spud Webb in the deal for Christian Laettner, had been starting at center, has a problem with his left calf. So Riley, the one-time Clipper, one-time Rocket, is in as the starter. There is Andrew Lang in the snappy sport jacket.
Lang played against the Knicks twice this year. I was looking at his numbers, Marv, anticipating he might play tonight, how he did against the Knicks this year. He had 12 in each of the games. Ewing averaged 32 against him in the 2 games.
Earlier meeting at the Garden, January 27th, Knicks won by 9 over Minnesota. Knicks have won 9 straight games against the Timberwolves. The last loss to Minnesota, January of 91 at the Garden, 93-89. That was the night of the outbreak of the Persian Gulf War. Riley gets inside. And here in Minneapolis, the Knicks have won 5 in a row over the Timberwolves. Down to 6 on the 24. Davis can't set it up. Shot clock at 1. Mason just did beat the 24. And the Knicks lead 61-49. And again, similar to what took place Sunday against the Bulls, we are seeing very fine ball movement by the Knicks. Gugliotta fires it up, way off again. Didn't even get the rim. No question, his game changes against the Knicks. He is now 0 for 7 from the field. And Ewing fouled by Garnett.
And of course, Knicks fans or people who know the game know he's one of the outstanding players in the league. And yet against the Knicks, he just can't seem to present his best. Those are his lifetime numbers. 12 games, as you can see, 33% from the field. That 33 is looking pretty good right now.
Tom Gugliotta, originally a first-round pick of the Bullets, the 6th selection in the draft overall. And he was traded to Golden State in that Chris Webber deal. That was a deal made by Don Nelson while at Golden State. And then he was shipped off to Minnesota in exchange for Donyell Marshall. So here he is in his 2nd season with the Timberwolves. Knicks now lead 63-49. Sam Mitchell back on the floor, coming on for Eric Riley. Ryder. Rebounded by Mason. Davis whipping by. Oh, he took a shot from Webb. Inadvertent hit by Spud to the face of Hubert Davis, who is all right. And a timeout is taken. 9:27 remaining, 3rd quarter.
Hey there! What's up? Oh, thanks for stopping, Bub. I've been waiting out here forever. You just passed me. I'm out of gas. Your car is still running. Weird, huh? Very. It's in flames! I don't think so. But I love you, man!
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down,
You're not getting the Bud Light!
make it a Bud Light.
Where's the love, man?
Mike Tyson fought Frank Bruno once before. This is what happened.
Tyson gets nailed with a left hook. Tyson looks wobbly as he attacks Bruno. That's the first time I've seen anything like Tyson staggered. Mike Tyson doesn't seem to have that fiery look in his eyes.
Bruno versus Tyson, WBC Heavyweight Championship, March 16th. Live on pay-per-view from the MGM Grand. Call your cable or satellite company.
When you change everything and break the rules, you can expect a reaction. We sure got one. 4 Dodge nameplates were just named Consumers Digest Best Buys. So we're celebrating with a great lease rate on this Best Buy, Dodge Caravan. Right now, you can lease a Dodge Caravan for $0 down and just $249 a month, which makes this Consumers Digest Best Buy a Dodge Best Lease as well. See the friendly Dodge dealer near you.
Well, Jeff Van Gundy said the other day, this is a key week for us as we get ready for a schedule that's turning tough soon. Delta Airlines' upcoming schedule, you'll see the Knicks at the Garden Saturday, MCS Cannon game night at 7. Wednesday, the Indiana Pacers come to town, so the Knicks have a couple of practice days. And then Thursday, they go to Chicago to take on those pushovers, the Chicago Bulls. So Jeff Van Gundy hopes his team personality is well established to be a rebounding and defensive team, certainly over the next days.
The Knicks now lead by 15. It's their biggest lead of the ballgame. And Terry Durham with the call away from the ball. And a foul is called.
A double foul.
Double foul.
On number 7 of New York, J.R. Reed, a second personal.
On Reed.
And on number 42 of Minnesota, Sam Mitchell.
And Mitchell apparently called for the other foul. And back comes Harper, a 12-2 run by the Knicks.
Go to work,
Mason. 3 minutes gone by in the 3rd quarter. Webb shooting. And Mason is shaken up. 22nd timeout called by the Knicks. So rare to see Anthony Mason down on the floor and hurt.
It looks like, as you can see, his sensitivity in the area of his right eye. It looks like it was perhaps a finger in the eye. Mason jumps right up. Take a look at Ewing and Mason. J.R. Reed very aggressive, and Mason holding his head. And as he stays on the court, he's shaking it off pretty quickly, I must say. And Mason in a collision with one of his teammates on that play, but he's right back at it.
There's Ron Grandison, who you saw a moment ago, signed to a 10-day contract by the Knicks. He had played 2 games for the Knicks last season. He was with Omaha in the CBA. Patrick Ewing extending to a 66-49 lead. He began the season with Miami, where he played 18 games and was cut in early January, then played with the Hawks this season for 4 games. Gugliotta had it knocked away. Hopper lost it. He thought he was fouled, and here's Webb on a breakaway. Hopper upset. He thought he was fouled by Webb. With Grandison signed to the 10-day contract, Victor Alexander, who had come over in the deal from Toronto, was waived. Ewing. So Patrick Ewing with 16 points. Now 5 of 7 from the field. And the Knicks lead 68-51.
That was a nice look from Hubert Davis to the wide open Ewing as Tom Gugliotta throws that one up in vain again. But Kevin Garnett right there for the finish.
The Knicks lead by 15 points. Hopper played on a switch by Gugliotta, hits the 3. Derek Hopper, who ignited the Knicks in the 3rd quarter against the Bulls on Sunday, hitting from downtown. Derek 3 of 6 here tonight. He has 7 points. Mitchell. And the Knicks are up 71-55. Ewing. Yes, and the foul. The basket counts, and the foul is called.
Derek Hopper running around much like a rookie, much younger player with his enthusiasm in Ewing's direction. After Patrick hits this shot after getting that bump, Ewing right on target now. Hopper right over to him. Is that good or bad? That may hurt.
Foul called on Mitchell. 3-point play for Ewing. And the Knicks now lead 74-55.
Mentioned Grandison a moment ago, Marv, picked up by the Knicks. Some fans may wonder why they didn't go for Matt Fish. Fish, however, some days ago had been picked up by Denver. For those who have missed the close observation of the box scores, Fish made a nice impression while he was with the Knicks for that short time.
Had that good first quarter against the Lakers in his very first game as a Knick when he was in the starting lineup and then did not see much action after that. 8 on the 24.
3 now.
Ryder blocked. Ewing over to get a piece of it. Now to 1 on the shot clock. Webb. And Ewing with the rebound. The Knicks have taken over here in the 3rd quarter, leading by 19, their biggest lead of the night. Hopper. Hopper again. It is now 76-55.
Well, the Timberwolves are really soft on the boards when Garnett isn't around. He was out by half court on that particular sequence.
Timeout called by the Timberwolves. 6:05 to go in the 3rd.
The are back at the Garden to battle the 76ers after MCS Cannon game night. Saturday night, right here on MSG. Aches and pains acting up again? Imagine 5 sets of massaging hands all over your body. Now enjoy Back Pleaser by Homedics with 5 massaging motors. Command controller relieves neck, shoulder, lower back, buttocks, thighs, or any combination of the 5. Press the cycle button for massage waves up and down your body. Adjust the speed and strength. Slow and gentle to relax, or intense and fast to energize. Work seated, reclining, or lying down.
Pain in my back, gone. I love it. It feels like 5 sets of hands.
I can't relax without it.
Massaging systems sell for hundreds, even thousands. Now order Back Pleaser for just 4 easy payments of $24.95. Order now, and we'll include your free car adapter. Get Back Pleaser with heat for just 1 extra payment of $24.95. Back Pleaser by Homedics, the massage system you'll use anywhere, anytime.
To order Back Pleaser, call 1-800-495-9900 or send check or money order for $99.80 plus $19.95 shipping to the address on your screen. Michigan residents, please add 6% sales tax. Call now.
He grew up in the schoolyards around New York, crafting and honing his skills. Through the years, he has become a true New York City hoops icon, a mentor and idol to many of the game's observers. He is now one of the most dynamic personalities associated with the New York Knicks. He is the legend of Johnny Hoops.
Excuse me.
Knicks analyst John Andres, only on MSG Network.
Remember, when you're having good times with good friends, drink responsibly, because friends know when to say when. A reminder from your friends at Budweiser.
6 minutes and 5 seconds remaining in the third quarter. The Knicks 76 and the Timberwolves 55. Garnett. Kevin Garnett, listed at 6'11". I'm told he has already grown at least an inch. He is now 7 feet. Like yourself, John, still growing.
And with the great touch.
Unlike yourself.
Oh, no.
Davis for three. And Mason able to hustle it down. Knicks playing with such great confidence. And coming into tonight, as we were speculating prior to the game, a game of significance, because if you lose to Minnesota, you give back what you accomplished against the Bulls on Sunday. Davis and the Knicks now extend to a 78-57 lead, but the Knicks have come out and played another terrific game. Certainly against a weak ball club in the Minnesota Timberwolves, but the way the Knicks were going in recent games, there was nothing easy.
What's characterizing their play tonight, Marv, I think, is their ball movement and how they're finding.
It counts and the foul, but Hubert Davis is hurt. And Knick trainer Mike Saunders racing onto the floor. Webb called for the foul. Knicks take a timeout, and Hubert Davis obviously in great pain.
It appeared to be his knee that he was favoring, Marv, as he lay on the floor. We were talking about the good ball movement of the Knicks before, and Hubert on that particular play kept it and drove hard to the basket, made a terrific shot, spinning it in off the backboard. Now Mike Saunders seems to be looking at that left knee of Hubert's. Mike is clearly asking Hubert exactly where the discomfort is, so he can address where he puts his hands to see exactly what it might be.
Knicks immediately calling for the timeout as they ran out of the floor to check out Hubert Davis. Now being helped up, and seems to nod that he's all right.
Marv, once again, we see where youth conquers all. Hubert popping up pretty good after another look at this play now. See, he lost his footing, but he certainly had his eye on the basket. Hubert again driving that basketball, tripping, falling, but never losing sight of where that ball should go.
He was very scared for an instant and did not want to be moved. Still has a free throw to shoot.
As we see in these situations, he's got to shoot the free throw or not come back in the game if he is substituted for. So the question will be, after he shoots the free throw, will he stay in the game?
Now it appears that John Starks is walking over to the scorer's table, so he will come on for Hubert Davis.
I know if Hubert's dad happens to be watching, how happy he must be to see him pop up and be at the line right now.
13 points for Hubert Davis. And a foul is called on the inbounds. Apparently Mason purposely committed the foul to allow for the substitution for Starks to replace Davis, and he'll head back to the Knick locker room with assistant trainer Tim Walsh.
Got to start that ice on the leg immediately.
The Knicks lead 81-57 with 4.5 remaining in the third quarter. Ewing caught Webb, and that's number 4 on Ewing. You see Hubert Davis headed back to the Knick locker room.
Number 32,
and as soon as we get it, we'll pass on the report on the knee of Hubert Davis. Patrick Ewing sitting down after collecting his 4th foul. 19 points for Ewing on 6 of 8 from the field. Herb Williams is back. Mitchell with the fake on Reed, and he drew the foul.
Which Reed agrees with clearly as he nods his head up and down. Reed continues to play with good energy, though. He's hustling, adding something to the Knicks' efforts now, game by game, slowly getting back into it and being important on the floor.
Tom Gugliotta is back, coming on for Eric Riley. Tom Gugliotta has seen this movie before. 0 for 9 from the field against his hometown club, the New York Knicks. Garnett way off. I tell you, John, this is a very compassionate crowd. They have certainly become accustomed to the rough times, but you don't hear any booing. They are getting blown out by the Knicks as Starks with one of his rare misses tonight. Here's Webb accelerating. Nice feed. And Davis able to hit. Mark Davis, the 2nd-round draft pick, the rookie from Texas Tech. And the Knicks now lead 81-59.
This compassionate crowd seen some crazy things this year. 4 games ago, Marvin, down in Miami, the Timberwolves had a horrendous loss, a 32-point loss, the worst in team's history, And then that followed actually a game 2 days earlier when they beat Miami here by 2 points. And they went into a game against Philadelphia a week ago tonight, won that game, and then it's been a loss to Seattle and Utah since that single win of late.
But the crowds have been down. Capacity here is just over 19,000. They have in the area 14,000 here tonight. They've been averaging about 13. They've had only one sellout. That's the visit of the Chicago Bulls.
Mason made a terrific play on that last attempt by Gugliotta to drive the ball to the basket. Gugliotta got close to the hoop, and then Mason just took the ball from him.
Knicks have 12 on the shot clock. Mason, Williams, Reed up front. Hopper and Starks at the guards. Just under 3 minutes remaining in the third. Mason with the spin on Garnett, protecting the ball and called for an offensive foul.
Well, he took on Garnett, the 7-footer, and very hard for Mason to shoot over him, so he pushed off as he attempted to get that shot up.
Mason's 3rd foul. Gugliotta's pass chased down by Webb with 7 on the 24. Foul committed by Reed, protecting the baseline. For the Knicks, their 4th team foul. And now Ron Grandison will come on for the first time. So Ron was signed to the 10-day contract yesterday. And his 2nd go-round as a Knick. Played 2 games for the Knicks last season. Jeff Van Gundy liking the work ethic of Grandison. Garnett fouled by Williams. Pat Riley liked the work ethic of Ron Grandison. As we mentioned earlier, he did spend part of the season with the Heat. There is the Ronnie Grandison file. Played his college ball at Cal Irvine and New Orleans, so he was in effect an anteater. The nickname of Cal Irvine.
Marv, I slip into the feeling when I see a guy who's played with so many teams. We see the Celtics, the Hornets, the Knicks, the Heat, and the Hawks. What a great collection of shirts.
Yes.
I can't help but think that.
That is a very twisted view. You know, if a guy can stay with one or two teams over his career, he can buy shirts of other clubs. Have you thought of that?
I never thought of it that way.
Knicks 81 and the Timberwolves 61.
This is something to having the real one, though.
Starks to the left hand. Webb with the change of pace dribble and lost it. Timberwolves also affected tonight because the Minnesota Gophers have a first-round NIT game against St. Louis University on campus, which I'm told will draw in the area of 13,000. Williams posting up on Gugliotta. Herb Williams. He has 6 points. The Knicks lead 83-61. Davis. Garnett passed on the 3. Gugliotta off the fake. And he is now 0 for 10.
I was most impressed by that pass of Garnett to Gugliotta. Boy, real sure hands he has and handles the ball like a guard.
Grandison. Oh, very nice. Ron Grandison steps onto the floor, and he hits on his first field goal attempt.
Funny looking at Patrick Ewing way at the end of the Knicks bench, clapping like a family member of Grandison at the end of the bench.
Everyone getting into the act. The Knicks are shooting 56%. Grandison went down on the move by Mitchell. Third quarter is winding down. 40 seconds to go. And the Knicks are up by 22. Hopper. Hopper with the steal, taking it out of the hands of Garnett, and a foul call. Foul committed by Hopper. Puts the Knicks over the limit, and Derek was also hit with a technical for arguing the call.
Solid drive by Hopper, and then he steals the ball from Garnett and very unhappily expresses himself.
Spud Webb hits the tee for Derek Hopper, his 10th technical of the season. And with the Knicks over the foul limit, Kevin Garnett will go to the line. Derek Martin has come on. There he is for the first time. Listed at 5'11". And I think that is a very generous listing. In his second year out of UCLA, he played for Flip Saunders at Sioux Falls in the CBA. Spent 2 years with Magic Johnson's touring team before the NBA called last spring. Hooked on with the Timberwolves last year.
I remember Martin darting around Madison Square Garden when they met earlier later in January. Had 5 assists, but he shot the ball at a 1-for-7 clip in New York.
23 seconds remaining in the third quarter. And the Knicks have the big lead, up by 19. Hopper played by Martin. Williams with the move on Gugliotta. Down to 10 seconds to go, third quarter. They double up on Martin. Mitchell, final seconds, gets it off. After 3, here in Minneapolis, the Knicks with an 85-66 lead on the Timberwolves.
Great.
Well, it can't get any worse than this.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down.
I stand corrected.
Make it a Bud Light.
You're never gonna get it open.
Let's see. Can't focus. Weak in the knees. Lightheaded. You're hungry, huh? Here you go. Take a little sniffage. Can you smell it? It's that one-of-a-kind steam grill taste of, you guessed it, White Castle. We're talking sacks of 10 at a way tasty price. All in favor. Looks like the eyes have it. White Castle, what you crave.
The forecast, cloudy skies with flurries today. Total accumulations of...
No, you can't control the weather. But a Jimmy can. Seek a safe haven. Seek a Jimmy. Now, second-time Jimmy lease buyers can enjoy the comfort of numbers like these. See your Tri-State GMC dealer today.
In his first title fight in 6 years, Mike Tyson meets WBC champion Frank Bruno. Is Tyson ready? Bruno is. Bruno versus Tyson, live on pay-per-view.
New York Knicks basketball is brought to you in part by the New York State Lottery. Play Lotto and you could win millions of dollars. Hey, you never know. By your Tri-State GMC truck dealers, the strength of experience. And by Payne Weber. When you invest with Payne Weber, you invest with more intelligence.
Welcome back to the Target Center, Minneapolis, Minnesota. The Knicks outscoring the Timberwolves 28-19 in the third and have the 19-point lead. They have led by as many as 24. Call away from the ball. Now Garnett.
Illegal defense, Minnesota, resulting
Apparently an illegal defense, the call on Garnett, who was not guarding anyone. And Hopper will shoot the technical. That's the second illegal defense called on Minnesota. It's opening up this fourth quarter with Hopper and Starks in the backcourt. Mason, Williams, and the new addition, Grandison up front. The Knicks in the third, 10 of 18 from the field. They are 54% shooting for the game. Minnesota 37th for the game. Herb Williams and West on the ball. Doug West not seeing much playing time again tonight. Starks off the steal. Starks putting the move on West and draws the foul. And we're told that Hubert Davis suffered a hyperextended left knee and will not return. That's the only report that we have. The Knicks do not play again until Saturday back home for the 76ers. So the Knicks with only 2 games within the next 7 days. The major tests next week, back-to-back Indiana at the Garden and at Chicago.
Charlie Ward checking in now for Derek Harper. Willie Anderson had a hyperextended elbow in the game against Chicago Sunday, but he fortunately bounced back tonight to play in this game, although he hasn't had much of a presence, but good to see him back.
Patrick Ewing has returned, so Ewing is now up front with Grandison and Mason. Charlie Ward is back. Ward and Starks in the backcourt.
So far, so good for Jeff Van Gundy now in his third game. His team has not let him down after the opening night game in Philadelphia, which was where the Knicks fell flat after much was expected, and then they bounced back. And in this game, they're maintaining that personality that Jeff wants them to have, to reestablish the rebounding and defensive personality. As we look at Earl Pearl sneaking in the picture there, filling in for Walt Frazier with Mike Breen on WFAN tonight.
Grandison called for the foul. Opening minute, fourth quarter. And the block picked up by Ward. Cameo by LaPearl. Earl Monroe working the radio side tonight. Clyde ever made a trip to Minneapolis?
I think his St. Croix responsibilities always coincide with the visit out here, Marv.
I would think folks out here should take it personally. I don't think, I can't recall him being here. I think he's passed up the excursion.
There is a pattern to his behavior.
Yes. And a reach-in foul on Ewing. That's number 5. One of those games, Patrick Ewing has been in constant foul trouble, although the Knicks feel fortunate that it has not hurt them because they are in the midst of a blowout of the Timberwolves. Still Ewing in his 19 minutes, 6 of 8 from the field, 7 of 7 from the line, but he'll sit down once again.
But you know, Marv, it might be a telling thing to see Patrick reaching in and working outside, helping the guards out, because it might be symbolic of the Knicks' focus on defense. He is their leader.
Garnett. 19 for Garnett. You realize that Kevin Garnett 9 months ago was getting ready for his senior prom at Farragut Academy in Chicago. It's unbelievable how good this young man is and how good he will be. Trent Tucker telling me that Garnett has actually already changed his shot. Since he's been in the starting lineup, he has come so far offensively. First round draft pick, the 5th selection overall, and he led Farragut to a record of 28-2 in the city championship of Chicago last year. Terry Porter back on the floor. 2 minutes gone by in the 4th quarter. Garnett with the stop. And it leads to a Knick timeout. The Knick lead, once 24, is now 15.
We both talked about it for years. Opening your own business, moving someplace where you can actually watch your kids grow up. But I'm still here, and she's there.
Gun Pathfinder, now with increased horsepower, for when you want to get away.
New York Times. Read what you like.
Almost as opinionated as me.
Well, the only time that the Knicks have been beaten here in Minneapolis, their very first visit here, March of 1990. Stu Jackson was coaching the ball club. You saw Pooh Richardson convert. The rejection by Randy Brewer. And here comes Pooh again on the break. And the Knicks were beaten 102-92, March 15th, 1990 at the Metrodome.
Hey, out of bounds!
Here's Ward for 3. Charlie Ward, who hit 2 3-pointers on Sunday against the Chicago Bulls. Knocks one down here to extend to an 88-70 Knick lead. Garnett. Anthony Mason with rebound number 19. That equals his career high. 19 rebounds along with 13 points. John Starks with 18.
What a lovely bounce pass from Charlie Ward to John.
And the Knicks have a 20-point lead with just under 9 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. Porter working hard against Ward. Mitchell. And he was running to Sam Mitchell will head to the line.
They are called on number 32, Herb Williams.
Herb Williams called for the foul. And this is a look at the coaching staff of that ball club. There's Ernie Grunfeld, by golly, and I was going to say a more youthful Jeff Van Gundy. Actually, Jeff looks the same.
Ernie weighted down now with a lot more responsibility than he had as an assistant coach.
But he's saying he's heavier?
No, weighted down.
Oh, weighted down. I'm sorry.
Responsibility.
Okay. God knows want to explain that.
I know how heavy that can be, Mark.
Yes. Ernie Terry looking very sharp there.
Jeff was slowly climbing his way to the top even then.
In fact, March of 1990. A holding foul called on Doug West of the Timberwolves.
Minnesota foul on number 5, Doug West.
The Knicks 90 and the Timberwolves 71. The Knicks overall have won 9 straight against Minnesota. And Mason will head to the line.
You're not supposed to be that hard, right?
So Anthony Mason with 13 points, 19 rebounds, and 4 assists. He has tied his career high in the rebounding department. He had 19 against the Phoenix Suns, January 29th of 95. And the free throw shooting has gone astray. The Knicks lead by 20. Mitchell defended by Mason and fouled. So Sam Mitchell will go to the line. John Starks came over to help and was called for the foul. That is his second. Sam Mitchell spent 3 years with Minnesota, then 3 with Indiana. Back with Minnesota, signing as a free agent. Jeff Van Gundy calming Anthony Mason down. Mason was arguing that last call.
Got a kick out of an article in today's Newsday. Steve Jacobson doing a story about Jeff Van Gundy's dad, who's just completed his 9th straight 20-win season at Genesee Community College in Batavia, New York. Defensive-minded man. He said, this is Jeff's dad, I'd like to have played the defense Riley played when he was coaching the Knicks 2 or 3 years ago. He said, up here, it might have got me arrested. Obviously a very personable man to express himself that way. It's a terrific article.
I believe Rob Corn had the same view.
He came close, right?
Just under 8 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Porter comes up short. And it's knocked out of bounds. Last touched by Mason. Patrick Ewing sitting down after picking up his 5th foul. Ewing coming off the terrific game against the Bulls on Sunday, and may have had a bit more meaning for him because you recall the previous game at the Garden as the fouls called on Porter. Ewing was outplayed by Luke Longo. That was the blowout on the Bulls against the Knicks.
Yes, which led to some gracious statements from Dennis Rodman, which were followed up on Sunday as he gave the Knicks 0 credit for that impressive performance. It kind of sets up a week from Thursday pretty nicely, Marv. Week from tomorrow in Chicago.
Charlie Ward. Running one-hander by Ward, and the Knicks now lead 93-73. Yes, the Knicks home for Indiana next Wednesday, on to Chicago on Thursday as Sam Mitchell is on target. And that will lead to the Western swing, beginning with Dallas in Dallas on Sunday. Williams around Garnett, then pops it back out. Shot clock is at 4. Mason. And a foul is called just prior to the 24-second buzzer. Foul against the Timberwolves. And Mason will go to the line. Foul on West.
Well, it was a slow starting offense, but finally Charlie Ward got the ball to Mason, who continues to set up low, gets the ball. I asked Jeff Van Gundy before the game if there'd be any change with Mason as a low post offensive threat and a primary force for the Knicks down low. He said there would not be. That's where he's most effective. But you know the Knicks are going to kind of quietly look more in the direction of Ewing, I would think. And Patrick's had a good night tonight, and not too much demanded of him, as well as his teammates have carried the Knicks quite well.
Timeout is taken with 6:47 remaining, fourth quarter.
Hi, everybody. I'm Bob Page. A no-holds-barred discussion on college basketball with Syracuse head coach Jim Boeheim right here on the next Page One.
March puts a great lineup of big-time sports action right at your fingertips on MSG Network. Like New York Knicks basketball with matchups against the Pacers, the Bulls, and the Houston Rockets. New York Rangers hockey with face-offs against the Bruins, the Penguins, and the Florida Panthers. MSG brings you all the pregame stats, stories, and team news with MCS Cannon Knicks and Rangers game night. Yankees baseball returns to MSG. Catch the new-look Bombers in spring training action against the Tigers and the Mets. March is a huge month for college hoops fans. Don't miss the madness with tournaments and matchups from the A10, Big East, and MAC conferences. Take a hard look at today's fast-moving sports world and the people who make the headlines. Bob Page hosts Page One. Plus, you can always catch the latest scores, stories, highlights, and area high school sports news on Coors Light MSG Sports Desk. It's all right at your fingertips. A great lineup of March sports action on MSG Network. The best in the game.
Are you a Knicks fan? Do you want to win big? Then you've got it in a Reese's Jeep and Eagle Super Shot Contest with a chance to take center court at a Knicks game and shoot to win the grand prize. Your choice of a 1996 Jeep Grand Cherokee or an Eagle Talon TSI. Runner-up prizes include dinner for two at Houlihan's and tickets to an upcoming Knicks game. To enter, just fill out an entry form at all participating Reese restaurants or call the Knicks fan line presented by AT&T for details. Reese's Jeep and Eagle Super Shot Contest. Enter today.
Well, the Timberwolves are trailing right now, but that doesn't diminish the fine-looking coaching staff Flip Saunders has. Take a look at Jerry Seasting all the way over on the right, and former Boston Celtic, now the head of player development. There's Jerry on the right. Randy Whitman, now an assistant coach in the NBA. Think of Indiana when you think of Randy Whitman. And Mike Schuler, also one of the assistant coaches. Mike, an experienced coach in the NBA with Portland, with the Clippers, now with the Timberwolves, valuable man. Also a member of the fraternity of Don Nelson from Milwaukee Bucks days.
And the other assistant, Greg Ballard, the former Bullet, one-time Warrior. Pretty good 3-on-3 contest, challenging other coaching staff.
That's a hefty coaching staff.
24-second violation with 6 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter, and the Knicks leading the Timberwolves 95-75. Terry Porter and Isaiah Ryder at the guards. Kevin Garnett, Doug West up front. Tom Gugliotta, nice backdoor pass for West. So it's the Knicks 95 and the Wolves 77.
Used to be the T-Wolves.
I was just going to ask you, John, do you prefer Wolves, T-Wolves, or Timberwolves? I'm trying to vary it as the game progresses. Mason with the straight-ahead drive, and the Knicks lead 97-77.
Well, my honest response here on MSG2 is that I like them all.
I see. What a surprise. Again, the backdoor pass. This time it did not work. Ward taking it hard to the hoop. Whoa. Garnett. Oh, blow the stuff. Here's Gugliotta. Picked off by Starks.
I think it was presented to John Starks. Tom Gugliotta is going to be found here in the arena, Marv, about 1 in the morning, shooting around, dribbling, just practicing the game of basketball, because it just has eluded him tonight. It's a very frustrating, long evening for Tom.
Ward got a hand on it, but picked up by Ryder. Porter with the fake. It counts, and the foul. So
Terry Porter, 6'1", for the Timberwolves.
Three-point play being attempted by Porter. The Bulls are trying to take it out tonight on the Bullets. Third quarter, they're up by 13. One final score, the Celtics over the 76ers, 110-100. Kevin Garnett will sit down. Here's a look at Garnett a moment ago, going off the back of the rim. Kevin Garnett hearing it from the crowd. Played well. 23 points, 9 rebounds.
He is really a crowd favorite here. What a remarkable impact in such a short period of time. He will turn 20 in May.
So it is a three-point play for Terry Porter. He has 12 points. Patrick Ewing is back on the floor as we come up on 4 minutes remaining and a 17-point Nick lead.
I see Ryder out here, Marvin. I just got the feeling, what happened to J.R. Ryder? Where did he go? And by golly, he's out on the court.
Very quiet 4 of 13 for Ryder. Has not been able to get into it. Has not been part of the offense.
So we give credit to John Starks on him and Mason on Gugliotta. Good defensive efforts tonight by the Knicks in one-on-one matchups as Gugliotta misses his jumper.
0 for 11 for Gugliotta. It really is amazing that he has had such lack of success against the Knicks, be it at the Garden or as a member of the Bullets. We can recall situations in Landover where he had these type of performances.
And to be fair to him, it doesn't appear that the defense is that incredible on him. He's just missing.
3:20 remaining in this fourth quarter. Starks. John Starks has had another splendid performance. He has 20 points. He's the high man for the Knicks, who now lead 99-80. And we are in the midst of garbage time. Bragg not able to hit.
See the play Willie Anderson just made, again coming over, helping out, helping to stop Gugliotta. The Knicks have done that so well all night. I'm sure Jeff Van Gundy and his staff will be pleased with the helping defense that the Knicks have presented to the Timberwolves tonight.
Ewing, yes. The Knicks 101, Minnesota 80. 21 for Ewing. Gugliotta is it back this time. West. And Anthony Mason with rebound number 20. 18 points, 20 rebounds, 6 assists for Mason. Timeout taken by the Knicks with 2 minutes 6 seconds remaining in the ball game.
That's my dad, Rod Gilbert. And that's me when I was 4. I practically grew up on skates. Yeah, I was going to be a Hall of Famer just like him. You know, thousands of fans cheering me on. Then, right about the time I got to juniors, it started to dawn on me. What I really needed from my dad was some help paying for college. Luckily, Dad had been saving all along. Now I'm working on my master's degree in physical therapy.
When you change everything and break the rules, you can expect a reaction. We sure got one. 4 Dodge nameplates were just named Consumers Digest Best Buys. So we're celebrating with a great lease rate on this Best Buy, Dodge Caravan. Right now, you can lease a Dodge Caravan for 0 down and just $249 a month, which makes this Consumers Digest Best Buy a Dodge Best Lease as well. See the friendly Dodge dealer near you.
So what's the big surprise?
Knicks tickets.
American Express?
I got a little proposition.
Whoa! Hey, you got my ticket! Think again, my friend. Oh, there!
American Express, the official card of the NBA.
I'd have gone to the moon for these.
Tell me about it.
Isaiah J.R. Ryder created some excitement here that he and his teammates didn't like Sunday. An argument with official Ken Mauer. Game against Utah. He had taken a couple of foul shots. Mauer ejected him. He would not leave the court. That's his mom, Donna, getting up. She sensed something. And finally, J.R. just would not leave the court. Very unhappy. And his mother came out. Her presence got him to leave the court. That's a look at J.R.'s mom here again tonight. On the prowl, ready for action.
3-on-2. Martin's pass mishandled. And then Ward comes up with it. Gary Grant is on the floor for the first time. He returned to the Knicks in the game on Sunday after being in his hometown of Cleveland since the death of his father about 10 days ago. Minute and a half remaining in the fourth quarter, and the Knicks are up 101-80. They've had the big lead after breaking it open in the third.
Just to finish that story on Ryder, he got fined yesterday $5,000 by the NBA for that behavior.
The crowd sensing the futility of Tom Gugliotta. He is now 0 for 12. Grant lost it. Look out. Grant able to recapture. Grant gives it back to Anderson. It's just toying here in the final minute. Grandison. And the Knicks lead 103-80 with 50 seconds remaining. And we're actually hearing some boos for the first time. Gugliotta desperate for a field goal. Rejected by Ward. And unfortunately for Tom, that's 0 for 13. Anderson for 3.
The helping defense of the Knicks, Marv, it's just been outstanding, and they're contesting, it seems, every shot opportunity, which has made it very difficult for Gugliotta once he gets by his man.
Brown, that is not the howl of the wolves that we have heard here from time to time. This is authentic booing of the home club. And Derek Martin was able to hit that jump shot. The Knicks will just walk off now with a solid performance against a poor club in the Minnesota Timberwolves, but a very fine back-to-back by the New York Knicks after the stunner over the Chicago Bulls at the Garden on Sunday. They come roaring back on the road with an excellent all-around ball game and knocking off the Timberwolves 106-82, and the Knicks now go to 36-26. The T-Wolves at 19-43.
Morning, fish. It's me, Bax and Jack, the Modem Man. Up and downloading, baby. Techno Trailblazer, the web slinger, commander of the communication nation.
AT&T True Reach Savings saves you 25% on all types of U.S. calls, even faxes and modems, on your AT&T phone bill when you spend $25 a month.
I'm bi-coastal. Information San Francisco. I'm dope. Oof.
Nice.
Don't say it.
Modem Man.
Savings on all kinds of calls. That's your true choice. AT&T.
Nobody does it like you.
The perfect moment, but the flash doesn't go off. Next time, use Energizer brand batteries from Nobody Beats the Wiz.
Back at the Target Center in Minneapolis, the Knicks have defeated the Timberwolves by the score of 106-82 to make it a record of 2-1 under new coach Jeff Van Gundy. We'll be back with more in a moment, including a chat with John Starks. Right now, let's go to Deb Kaufman.
All right, thanks, Marv. Here's a look at what we're working on for tonight's full half-hour edition of the MSG Sports Desk. The Rangers on the ice against the Panthers gave up a goal with less than 2 minutes to go in regulation, ended up skating in overtime, and it ends in a 3-3 tie. The Devils gave up a goal with less than a minute and a half to go in their game with Montreal, and they also end in a 1-1 tie in overtime. Well, the NCAA tournament opens tomorrow at noon, but the NIT got underway tonight, and Manhattan in Wisconsin ends their season. Their victory victims of a 24-3 run down the stretch, so the Jasper season is over. Marist lost to Rhode Island. Kareem Hill had 28 in their loss to URI. In baseball news this afternoon, the Yanks got an okay performance from Doc Gooden, but an excellent performance from Jimmy Key, who did not give up a run in 4 innings on the mound. Doc gave up 3 runs, but did strike out 5. On the Mets side, Bill Pulsipher gave up 3 runs, but got the win in a duel against Tadeo Nomo and the Dodgers. Nomo gave up 3 home runs in the first inning against the Mets. Highlights in the rest of the day in sports coming up, and more from Marv and John at the Target Center. Stay with us.
Just make sure you stay in the chariot, Chuck. I guarantee you're going to win the dang race. That's good. True story.
You are so special. That chariot thing you did and the water stuff. I love you, man.
You're not getting my Bud Light. Frankly, son, you frighten me.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
And it's more like, I love you, man. See?
Person needs to send resume to New York. Wants to make a big impression.
More information, more solutions, more stuff.
As we returned to camp, we were...
Full ball game for John Starks in 30 minutes, 8 of 15 from the field. He had 20 points, including our Marriott Marquis play of the game, a 4-point play for John Starks, the 6th of his NBA career. And for that alone, we have John Starks with Johnny Hoops. John?
Thank you, Marv. You know, Trent Tucker just had the nerve to walk by here and give you some shooting advice. What did he say to you?
Square up. Square up and stop drifting.
The elbow was going off a little bit, huh?
It is. Yes, it is.
Nice to get some criticism from one of the original 4-point shooters, but you're always listening. You're willing to listen to people, right?
No question. Trent was a great shooter in his day, and you know, whenever you get added advice like that, you should take it.
John, what is the difference for you inside? We don't want to get on the subject of Don Nelson and beating him down, but just what's going on inside of you right now? Do you feel more confident now, evidenced by your performance tonight and on Sunday? Is something free from you inside?
I don't think it's confidence. I think it's just happiness, and I'm happy right now, and that transcends on how I play out there on the court. I'm just coming out having a lot of fun. Jeff got us back working hard, and you can appreciate something like that, and it makes the game a lot funner.
And you don't mind coming off the bench now?
Not at all. You know, I think it's a role that is going to help this team. Like I said, Hubert's been playing very well in the starting role, so I don't want to disturb that right now. So I'm just, you know, accepting my role coming off the bench.
Looked like you were focusing on defense pretty heavily in the first half particularly.
Well, you know, that's going to be the key to our success this year for the next couple of ball games. We just have to focus on defense, get back to playing aggressive defense. I think the Chicago game, I think we started off in Philadelphia game. Even though we didn't win the game, I thought we would play with a lot of energy. Chicago game was a great game for us and carried over today.
John, was there a little nervousness on the part of the team coming out here tonight to try and duplicate that unbelievable effort on Sunday?
Not at all. We know that we're a better team than this team. Like Jeff said, if we go out there and focus on the things that we're capable of doing, then we'll beat these teams. And, you know, everybody seems a lot happier now, and everybody's just focused on getting back to playing hard.
You know, it doesn't seem like it takes very much to get the team back on track. This game can be so complicated, as you know, when things aren't going well. And then all of a sudden, a change of coach and a little refocusing, so to speak, and the Knicks seem to have an entirely different attitude as a team.
No question. Well, it was inside of us. We just needed someone to bring it out of us, and Jeff and the coaching staff did that. Jeff knows what this team has, and he's going to bring it out of us. And, you know, we just have to be willing to accept that and just go out and work hard.
Well, John, you showed you have plenty in your game tonight with a tremendous all-around effort at both ends of the court, and it's nice to once again welcome you to our post-game show. Congratulations on a fine game.
All right, thank you, John.
Now let's go back to Marv Albert.
All right, John, and John Starks with 20 points. The high point men of the game, Patrick Ewing, 21. Anthony Mason, 18 points and a career-high 20 rebounds as the Knicks shot 53% from the field to knock off the Timberwolves 106-82. Saturday, the Knicks are back home for the Philadelphia 76ers. The Knicks hoping to avenge last Friday's loss at the Spectrum. And MCS Canada Knicks game night will get it going at 7 o'clock on Saturday night. We have more for you from the Target Center in Minneapolis. The Knicks post-game report is coming up. So that wraps it for the telecast portion. Marv Albert, John Andre is saying so long for now. We'll be back in a moment with the post-game.
New York Knicks basketball has been brought to you by Budweiser, official sponsor of the 1996 Olympic Summer Games. This Bud's for you. By Foot Locker, where it all begins. By the Discover card. It pays to discover, the card that pays you back. By Hoover, the #1 name in floor care. Nobody gets the dirt like Hoover. Nobody. And by the United States Postal Service. We deliver smart solutions for you.
When the fans start pouring in, you can sense the Knicks for the win. In the capital of the world's most famous arena. It's the world's most famous ring. It's the Pittsburgh Texas thing. It's the capital of the world. Where the New York Rangers team achieves their greatest dream. It's the fiercest game of all, the meanest fight in volleyball, where the big talks twice as big. Greatest show on earth. And the rock stars come to be. It's the capital of the world. It's the magic of the garden, Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous arena, the world's most famous arena.
The New York Knicks post-game report is brought to you by Citibank. For banking anytime, anywhere, any way you choose. At Citibank, the city never sleeps.
And back in Minneapolis, the Knicks made it 10 straight wins over the Minnesota Timberwolves. And they go to a record of 36-26. And on the road now, they're even at 15-15. They had lost 5 of the last 6 on the road. Right here, let's send it to Deb Kaufman at our New York studios with a look at the highlights of tonight's Knick Timberwolves game.
All right, thanks again, Marvel. Up at the Target Center tonight, the Knicks were not about to misfire. They give their new coach, Jeff Van Gundy, a second straight win, the final 106-82. The Knicks showed real patience tonight offensively and beat Minnesota for the 10th straight time. Some acrobats at the Target Center, but it would be the Knicks who would be flying high tonight. A sign of the changing times, Charles Oakley once again accompanying his team on the road. First quarter action, the Knicks on the run. Davis to Mason to Harper, but the block by Kevin Garnett, and the T-Wolves bringing up court. Tom Gugliotta sets up the young rookie, Kevin Garnett, who led Minnesota with 23. But Van Gundy saw New York finish the quarter on a 15-3 run. John Starks, a spark again off the bench. The lay-in and the follow was the Knicks by 9 after 1 quarter. Cliff Saunders looking on. It's the second quarter now. And Anthony Mason, a pretty drive, and the right-handed kiss off the glass. New York led it by 11. Mace had 11 in the first half. Kevin McHale's team shot poorly from the field, something he's not used to. The Wolves missed 6 chances in this one offensive sequence. They missed all 6 trying to get it to the baskets. Pretty good defense by the Knicks as well. On the New York side, Jeff Van Gundy would get the ball, make sure his team got the ball to John Starks, who was the hot man. This is a 3 for Starks, and he got fouled. He would convert the 4-point play. Starks led all scorers with 16 in the first half. Late in the second quarter now, the Wolves will hold for 1 shot. Terry Porter, the former Villanova star, dug west, and he throws up an air ball. So Mason quickly gets it up court, and John Starks dunks it to give the Knicks a 10-point lead, 57-47 at the break. To the third quarter now. Hubert Davis to Derek Harper, 71-53. And again, the offense now for the Knicks is going through the point guard. Later in the third, Patrick Ewing, he had a nice night. The one-handed jumper plus the foul. Patrick had 21 tonight. He's been averaging 25 since Jeff Van Gundy took over. As that little gal looks on, Hubert Davis drives the lane. His layup goes in and he's fouled. Hubert creating a shot. He hyperextended, though. His left knee had to leave the game after hitting the foul shot. It was 81-57. New York clearly in control, so Hubert went ahead and got some treatment. Later in the third now, Ron Grandison will hit the nice open jumper, and the Knicks were running away. At this point, they led by 24. The newest Knick getting in on the action. Moore Mason driving the baseline and finds Charlie Ward for the three. And the Knicks led by 18, 88-70 to go on to win it 106-82. So the Knicks playing well off of the Bulls win. No letdown. They beat the T-Wolves. Jerry Stackhouse, 28. But the 76ers lose to the Celtics. Kenny Anderson did not play as a sprained ankle. Charlotte won anyway. They beat the Jazz. Larry Johnson had 22. The Pistons are hot. They're up 5 with a minute to go. It's still in the fourth quarter. They're playing the Suns. Scottie Pippen is getting a rest. The Bulls don't need him yet. Michael at 17 at halftime. Orlando is in Seattle. That game obviously very early. And Milwaukee and Sacramento have just gotten underway. That's all the time we have for now on the postgame. Stay with us, and don't forget Bob Page will be over on our regular MSG service for the full half-hour edition of The Desk at 10:30. Good night.
The New York Knicks postgame report is brought to you by Citibank. For banking anytime, anywhere, any way you choose. At Citibank, the city never sleeps.
Next is Lady. Exceptional sheen. Oh, very good color. Prince. Hands. Oh, such stateliness, such majesty.
Larry? Larry!
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
The best of show? More?
Okay, camera, go right.
In business news, the paper trail widens in the discount long-distance controversy known as RateGate.
A discount long-distance company promised dramatic savings over AT&T. But watch what happens when you compare similar calling plans.
Those numbers are about the same.
What happened to that 15% savings?
The answer when we return. Clearly, they don't hold up.
And we're out.
Call 1-800-COMPARE for a competitive price you can believe in.
In our world, engineering and imagination know no boundaries. Introducing CorelDRAW 6, the complete 32-bit graphics suite exclusively for Microsoft Windows 95. Only CorelDRAW 6 delivers 5 graphics applications, 8 utilities, 25,000 clip art images in symbols, 1,000 photos, 1,000 fonts, plus over 750 3D models. Get acquainted with the leader. The time is now.
Just when you thought you'd been there before. A show's created that will change your mind forever with high-tech clowning, rock concert sound, online and wired, black lights and brilliance, cyberspace, giant webs, interactive, intertwined, and Ariana, the human arrow. There's only one place to catch her flight. Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey, the greatest show on earth. It will change your mind forever.
Coming to Madison Square Garden March 21st through April 28th. Buy tickets at the box office and Ticketmaster.
It's late at night. Do you know where your children are? Keep in touch with the Motorola pager from Nobody Beats the Whiz. Excuse me, I've got to use the phone.
Back at the Target Center in Minneapolis, where the Knicks have blown out the Timberwolves. You know, John, there's one flaw in the coaching technique of Jeff Van Gundy, who just completed his third game as head coach of the Knicks. Blowout of the Bulls on Sunday night by 32 points. Tonight they win by 24. The man has got to show that he can win a close ball game.
I'm sure he's thinking about that, Marv, but he also knows he can only take them one at a time.
Very, very well put. You know, as we look at the stat sheet, there is certainly one number that pops up. Tom Gugliotta, 33 minutes, 0 for 13 from the field. The only good news for Tom is the fact that that is not an NBA record for an 0 for. Tim Hardaway has that. He was 0 for 17 from the field back in 1991 as a member of the Golden State Warriors in a game against the San Antonio Spurs.
I think Tom's also happy that he didn't get hurt tonight. That's how you have to think when things are really bad. Hey, I walked in, and I'm going to walk out and go home, and I'm going to come back tomorrow and try again.
But unfortunately for Tom, the local product out of Huntington, Long Island, he just continues to struggle against the Knicks. He's had a number of rough ball games against his hometown club. You get the idea? He gets psyched out.
Well, he just has an awful time, and sadly for him, he's not on a team where somebody else can lift it up. He's depended upon greatly to do it, and tonight particularly, nobody stepped in and kind of made up for his lack of input tonight.
All right, a look at the individual scoring totals first for the New York Knicks, who received balanced scoring.
Yeah, very. Hyperextended knee. He's going to be re-examined tomorrow, but there is some swelling, so hopefully he won't be out too long.
They haven't got any tentative?
No, I don't. Not yet, I don't think, no.
It seems like a long time since you've heard the sound of just quiet on the road in the last few minutes. Was that important? I mean, getting control early and not letting these guys get back into the game?
Right, I think there was a little bit of a run in the third quarter, or was it the fourth quarter, where they got it back to 15, that we didn't play particularly well. And but then I was proud of our guys, particularly our point guards. I think are doing a much better job assuming control, getting us into sets, you know, not looking over to me at the bench on offense, and I think that's important. I want them to be in control of the offense because I want to focus my energies on our team defense.
And they're basically back to running a very familiar offense, so they really don't have to look to it, right? I mean, they're running familiar sets from you.
Yeah, I think for the most part. I mean, we've kept some of Coach Nelson's stuff, the stuff that I thought we ran the best, and then we haven't put in really anything new except maybe a little bit more familiar calls, just, you know, that they might be, you know, a little bit more familiar with. Just trying to really simplify the offense so they can just concentrate on hitting the open man, making the extra pass, those sort of things. Well, I'll tell you what, he did a great job, and I think that's what he can bring us off the bench. He's got great energy level, made some shots, and I like that he's going to the basket, you know, and making, you know, plays going to the basket because, you know, we need that constant penetration to break teams' defense down. That'll help our offensive rebounding. Now, the more driving you get, the more help defense they have to play. They come off the big guys, so on missed shots, missed drives, your bigs have a chance to get some second shots. And, you know, I think Mason had an unbelievable night on the boards, and part of it was our penetration.
That seemed like to be a trademark where you guys would get a couple offensive rebounds, and I think back to one possession where Hubert got 3 looks at the basket, and he finally put the last one down. That's just demoralizing. Is that, I don't know, is that something that's sort of re-emerging in terms of the hustle, the tenacity, the sticking with it?
Well, you know, we talked about rebounding. I think our guys have really tried to commit themselves to that, and I agree because if you remember back to our Philly game, in the fourth, we had a few of those demoralizing plays go against us where, you know, we played good team defense, made him take a bad shot, rebound, another, you know, 24 seconds of good defense, rebound, and then a Stackhouse 3. And so, yeah, those plays are demoralizing, and, you know, those are the type of hustle plays we need. I told Anthony after the game, I thought it was the best all-around game I've seen him play. You know, shuts out his man on defense, 0 for 13, Gugliotta was. Now, that part of that was good team defense as well. 20 boards, 6 assists, and I don't even know how many points. It doesn't matter because I thought he really did a fabulous job. It was one of the best all-around games I've seen him play. I was also happy, just to throw in, I was happy the way we played without Patrick tonight, that we could withstand a game on the road where, you know, your best player is saddled with foul trouble. I think that was another good sign for our team.
Looks like you got a little hot under the collar there when they made that run in the second half. What'd you go back in and tell them there at that point?
Well, again, you know, we listed a few things on the board tonight that, you know, our team should be about every game, that things we can be consistent with. And we just need, the whole word for us is consistency. You know, it's not about that we're playing that bad. It's just we're so up and down within a game. And I think tonight we played a more consistent 48 minutes. We did have a run where I thought we just didn't get back in transition. We should never be giving up easy baskets, and we didn't have good possessions on offense. So, you know, hopefully we'll minimize those as we go along. But I was happy with the consistency the guys played with. And again, I think offensively, the 52% was a result of good ball movement, and I think the point guards did an excellent job of taking control of the game. I'm really happy with how Derek and Charlie are trying to take control and make sure they diversify the offense to different people. I think it shows a lot of good leadership on their part.
That Starks game, it looked like the old John Starks, petty play.
Yeah, again, I think his driving the ball to the basket is a key for our team and for his own game. And You know, at times, you know, people talk about his shot selection. You know, he had a couple step-back jumpers or whatever. You know, I think you can't, I don't want to take too much away from him. He's got to play. As long as his defensive intensity is up, he's after it, helping us trying to rebound. He's moving the ball to the open man. If he takes a bad shot now and then, you know, that's something we'll live with.
You can put up with a clunker now and then.
You have to give two guards their freedom to shoot when they feel they're open. You don't want to take away that confidence. And not just John, that's Hubert as well. And, you know, I think your two guards have to have that freedom to shoot the ball. They said hyperextended knee, and they'll have to find out tomorrow. You know, he'll have a doctor's appointment tomorrow.
Are you concerned about his back? He took a bad fall earlier.
Yeah, they didn't mention the back, but he did take a heck of a fall. He'll probably be a little sore tomorrow. What's that?
Probably be able tomorrow. Up to see tomorrow. His injury.
Oh yeah, I think he's going to go see Dr. Scott tomorrow. Yeah, to be evaluated.
What time you back soon?
It'll be 12 or 1. It depends on what time we get back. Sorry, I don't know right now.
Not at all.
Oh, great. Thank you.
It's not poison, I promise.
Thanks, Chip.
Thank you, guys.
What a dramatic conclusion, John. A lifesaver, which he does not need tonight.
Submitting to payoff.
Yes.
The press getting closer to Jeff.
So Jeff Van Gundy with a record of 2-1 as head coach of the New York Knicks. The Knicks with a 106-82 victory over the Minnesota Timberwolves. They're now 10 over 500 at 36 and 26. They'll see the 76ers again Saturday night at the Garden. MCS Canada Knicks game night will get it started at 7 o'clock. The Knicks want to avenge that loss at the Spectrum last Friday night. Marv Albert with John Andres saying so long from the Target Center in Minneapolis. And for Johnny Hoops, so long on behalf of MSG2.
Guests receive the American Express gift check. Think of it as a universal